have a holy convocation, which is a gathering, a calling out. It's a holy day. That's what today is, a holy day. So we commanded to do that. And then we see how Christ did it. We just read it in Luke 6 or 4:16, where it said that he rose, read in the synagogue, which is the synagogue meaning chief house where the Most High's word being spoken. And he opened the book of Isaiah, he opened the law, and he read. So if you're Mashiach Yom, you should do what he did. On the Sabbath, you should be going into the synagogue, not on Sunday. I'm gonna go through the understanding on the chip probably on Wednesday's class. I don't know if we got time. It's crazy because, man, it'd be nice if we can have class every day because we can go through all this stuff. It seems like we got so much information to cover. I don't have enough time to cover it because everything's already booked up. We got everything all mapped out, so it's hard for me to go through other understanding I want to bring out unless I just bring it out at camp on the streets. We can do that too. I ain't got no issues with that. But I want to go through the mark of the beast. I might just do that on camp, and then I want to go through how the Catholic Church changed the. This is why me personally, I teach that way, and the brothers that taught me this way. Why we do it, because the history we have of us keeping the Shabath on the seventh day on so-called Saturday, because we had the history on how the days was changed from numbers to false gods. We had the history on how the Catholic Church came against us very hard, keeping the Shabbat day for like 300 years straight. They persecuted us. They wouldn't let us work. They kicked us out. They excommunicated us. They cut us off. So they changed it from that to Sunday. So we're like, okay, they changed it from Sunday to Saturday. And then they said, we're going to keep it the same way that the Jews that's keeping the law are keeping the Shabbats. So back then it was a little different when they kept, how they did their Shabbat or their Sundays. They wouldn't work that day. They'd come together. It'd be a day for the Most High, same way. But when they had the, what they call that, when the church split, the Reconstruction or Reformation under, the Lutheran, the Protestant church, the revolt, they went to keeping it as, we come together, we read the Bible, and we're going about our business, do whatever we want on that day. So they had different splits and different points in history and different councils that came up with why they do things the way they did. They would get bishops together and they get together and they vote. Well, this is my understanding of scripture. This is my understanding. So they have a vote and then they'll set forth the doctrine they're going to go with.
That's a lot, yeah.
Go ahead, brother.
It's like you can take the time to look it up later. It's called Blue Laws. All right. Blue Laws were established by the Roman Catholic Church. Okay. And most states in America, they're still on the books. Okay. Saying that you can't buy and sell on Sunday.
That's true.
Okay.
That's history.
It's
right
like
there.
in Ohio where we have state stores and used to, I don't know if they
cut off the liquor.
You can't buy liquor on Sunday.
Right.
Okay. And whatnot.
Trump enforced that too recently.
They said they're going to try and reinforce it. State the Pope wants them to reinforce it nationwide. He wants to enforce it worldwide. Okay, blue laws where nothing can be done on the Sunday, but we know that Sunday is the first day of the week. Okay, it's not the last day of the week. It's not the seventh day. It's the first day. We know this. All right. Most people tend to think that Sunday is the seventh day of the week, okay? Because Monday, they figure Monday is the first day of the week, they got to go to work, all right? No, Monday is the first day of the work week. But all you have to do is simply look at a calendar, any calendar, and the calendar will show you that Sunday is the first day of the week.
It always starts off with that Sunday, then Monday.
Yeah.
Because it's S in the front, then S at the end.
Right.
I used to wonder
Because it's the first day of the week. A lot of things that this devil does, they do it intentionally. Okay, the work week is from Monday through Friday, and they give you 2 days off. Have you all kind of confused? All right.
Right.
Now, if they started the work week on Sunday, right, and gave you off Friday and Saturday, you'd be more on track. Okay. So this devil does things intentionally to throw you off. You know, it's like I'm told. It's why everything happens on Friday night. You get paid on Fridays. Everything is booming. The new movies come out at the theater.
Bring it out, brother.
Everything happens on a Friday night.
Why is that? Bring it out.
So they can get you to break the Shabbat.
There you go.
Okay, that's the only reason that all that stuff happens on a Friday. Okay.
They had a song after that too, right? Friday night, just got paid.
Yeah, I remember that.
Gone.
What you doing tonight? You just got paid. Oh, I'm going to the club.
I'm going to the club. About to go get me an outfit.
Friday night. And I'm there.
Yep.
Yeah, that's all the free.
But yet, Amalek, right? The fake Jews, Amalek, they get Fridays off. All right? They request Fridays off.
Shalom,
And
Amath.
no
Can't wait to see you
employer
out here,
in the
brother.
world will make them work on a Friday. They get off early Friday. They get Friday and Saturday off, or they get off super early on Friday, so they can make it home in time for the Shabbat. Okay, our holy
Salaki.
is set apart
The water.
by the Most High for us. Okay, because you got to remember what Yahweh Shai said, right? Yahweh Shai said, "Man wasn't made for the Shabbat. The Shabbat was made for man." Okay. He was talking about the Shabbat was made for us. Remember, the entire world was made for our sake. So, we're going to get into the reading today. It's going to be a little bit of review because we went over it last week, but Tazadakia was not here. So we're going to do it's a little bit of review for the brothers that were here. But it's some new stuff that's going to come along too. So today we're going to start at Genesis 44 and 18, and we're going to read through 47 and 27.
Gone.
Okay, so for a backstory here, this is to give you a little bit of what's going on. Okay, this is when the brothers, okay, the 11 brothers, all right, came back to Egypt. They came to buy grain in Egypt, okay? And Joseph is the vice president, so to speak. He's second in command of Egypt underneath Pharaoh, okay? No one's above Joseph but Pharaoh. The Most High put him in that honored place, okay? Now, they're talking to him, and he's having some fun with them, all right? You know, setting them up, having a little fun, you know, and he's speaking Egyptian.
Gone.
So they don't recognize his face. They don't know that it's Joseph they're talking to. He knows that he's talking to them, all right? But they don't know that they're talking to him, all right? So can I get the youngest reader to read first, please?
Salakia, before you move on, I just had a question, and I want to have one thing to say. Remember, the Egyptians was black, right?
God.
The real Egyptians was black. So what does that tell you? If they didn't know, couldn't tell the difference between him and an Egyptian.
That
the Israelites are black.
There you go. There you go. The scripture tell you clearly, like, are you not like unto me, O children, or like the Ethiopians, O children of Israel? And the word Ethiopian means black face, ethos and opes in the Greek.
God.
Another thing I want to address real quick before you move on with the lesson, the brother, I want to address a statement you made. He said that the Sabbath day wasn't made for man. I just want y'all to get this in your spirit. But we weren't made for the Sabbath day, but the Sabbath day was made for us. The reason why he would bring that out like that is because back then they were up in the daggone Sabbath like it was the Lord. Like, don't break the Sabbath. Don't do this. You can't do that. No, man, you're going too far with it, brother. The Sabbath, I'm not here to serve the Sabbath. You can't make that a God. We got the Most High as the God. The Sabbath is set up for us to rest from all our labors, man. He says 6 days you can do your labors, and the 7th day is a Sabbath, rest. We just read that in Exodus 20, 10 Commandments. So that's why he said that, not that, oh, it's done away with. We ain't gotta deal with it. We ain't gotta do nothing with it because it's made for me. So they gotta do what I want it to do. No, it's that don't make a God even of a commandment. We can't go overboard. Remember, we said don't go too far to the right, too far to the left. All right, you can go ahead, brother. I just wanted to say that real quick.
Get our first reader.
All right, we're gonna salute you in, brother.
29.
It's me.
Dad, you 29?
Senior citizen.
Yeah, you almost there, man.
Yeah, you middle age.
Better get you a walker, man.
We ain't gonna even tell you how old I now is, man.
We don't want to tell you that this brother belonged to Smithsonian.
Shit. It's like, it ain't like I'm gonna be in there but a week before you get there.
Oh, and this is the reason why we salute.
We just look young. We got
We
good genes.
bless each other because of a few scriptures. First is Romans 9. It says that Israel are the ones to give the service. It says to us belong the covenants, the promises, the glory, and the giving of the law and the services of God. So we want to bless Israel and we want to confirm that you Israel. When you read Psalms 119, no, was it 147, 19 and 20? It says his word he gave unto Jacob, his statutes, commandments he gave unto Israel. Until no other nations they have not known him. So the Most High is not dealing with nobody. So we know that these are all Israelites, through the spirit, through the faith, and we know your tribe and we know who you are. Because if not, you don't even belong in here. The law said the Moabite is not allowed in the tabernacle ever. The Edomite is not allowed. This is the law now. Is not allowed in the congregation within 7 generations of being taught on the outside and serving. So that means the first generation Israelite can't just come up in here like other schools do, and they let them sit in class while we doing the convocation. It don't work like that. You learn somewhere on the streets. You come out there and watch us on the streets, and then you teach your kid from the streets. He teach his kids from the streets for 7 generations.
That's over 100 years.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? It ain't like, what people want to do out there. So then you got your Gentiles like that's in the scriptures, like Saul had one of his captains as an Edomite. He had Uriah the Hittite in his military. That's when you get to that point. Not you just, oh, come on in, he cool, that's my dude, I vouch for him. No, none of that. But all right, we want to salute the brother Azariah. State your name, lineage.
Azaria, father Andre, and grandfather James,
Tribe,
Judah,
nation,
Israel.
Amadium, Barak. Yabrak, or you salute us. Yabarakam, Yahweh Bashem, or Yahweh Bashem Yahshua Brakatham.
Yahweh Bashem Yahushua Barakatham.
Yahweh Bashem Yahshua Brakatham. Yeah, Numbers 18, man. He said when we come together, that's when we get salute 118 to give our
the
lineage.
first reading.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, you stand in the middle,
Oh, yeah.
Salakia.
you say my name, lineage, and
Yeah, your name, your father's name, his father's name if you got it, your tribe, and your nation.
Yadawad, Yada for short, Leslie,
Bon, this means son of.
Bon of Leslie,
Bon Leslie.
Bon Leslie,
Mm-hmm.
because my dad's the second,
Mm-hmm.
Benjamin, and
Say it in Hebrew. Benjamin is Bon Yum Yun.
Bon Yum Yum,
Mhm.
Bon Yum Yum Yum,
Yum Yun.
Bon Yum Yum,
Uh-huh.
and what
Bon
else?
Yashala.
Oh, salute y'all.
No, Bon Yashala.
Oh, Bon Yashala.
That's your nation. Your tribe, Bon Yum Yun. Your nation, Yashala. Okay, Amadium, Barak,
Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Barakatham.
Yahweh Bashem Yahushua Brakatham. All right, remember we read that this brother's gonna be the minister. Remember we read that Luke 4:16. We had a minister, and then we had Yahushua. He was the brother. But go ahead.
The book of Genesis, chapter 44. And he cometh,
Yeah, 44:18.
44 and 18, 44 and 18. Then Judah came near unto him and said, Oh, my Lord,
let thy servant, I pray thee, speak a word in my Lord's ears, and let not thine anger burn against thy servant, for thou art even as Pharaoh.
So Judah said to Joseph, all right, not knowing that he's Joseph, come here. Can I come here and speak? Let me speak to you, man. Don't get mad, what I got to say, because you like Pharaoh, okay? He's the second most powerful man in Egypt, okay? Only Pharaoh can override his order. All right? Read.
Gone. And also, he's a very powerful man of a very powerful empire during that time. They had world dominance. So this man, Joseph, is like, he be telling Donald Trump what to do. I mean, he's like high level, like he be commanding the world. Ain't no Senate, ain't no nothing. You know who his Senate is, right? The Most High. That's where he getting his visions from and his prophecies and the decisions he make. So the Most High is controlling the world even then. Who was stronger than Egypt back then? Nobody. But go ahead.
Verse 19, my Lord asked his servants, saying, have ye a father or a brother?
Salakia. He said, thou even are as Pharaoh. That word Pharaoh, let me click on it in the Strongs real quick so we can get a quick breakdown on that word. Pharaoh means, the word in Hebrew is H6547 is Fara'ayah, or Fara'ai. That's how you would say it, Fara'ai. And it means, the word literally means great house. And it's a title. It's a title of the king of Egypt. So it wasn't his name. It was actually a title.
Like doctor or something.
Yeah.
Like Caesar.
Like
Caesar's
Caesar.
not a name. Caesar's a title.
Yeah, I remember when I was younger, I thought that was his name.
Yeah, me
Watching
too.
the commandments, I'm like, yo, his name must be Pharaoh. But go ahead, brother.
Khan, my Lord asked his servants, saying, have ye a father or a brother? And we said unto my Lord, we have a father, an old man, and a child of his old age, a little one, and his brother is dead, and he alone is left and he alone is left of his mother.
So who's his brother that's dead that you're talking about?
Joseph.
There you go.
And who's the little one that's left with his father?
Joseph's little brother from the same
Benjamin.
mom.
Benjamin.
How you say Benjamin in Hebrew?
Ben Yum.
Yep. Ben, but it'd be Ban,
Bon.
because it's son in ancient Hebrew. Ban.
Ban Yum.
Yep, Ban Yum Yun. Uh-huh.
Khan. And his father loveth him. 21. And thou saidest unto thy servants, bring him down unto me, that I may set my eyes upon him. And we said unto my Lord, the lad cannot leave his father, for if he should leave his father would die.
So he's saying we can't bring Benjamin down. If something happened to him on the road or anything like that, and he would leave my father, if he would leave Israel, okay, he would die of a broken heart. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Read.
Because it'd been nice that it felt like that towards Joseph, but it was all the Most High's plan.
They hated on Joseph big time.
Yeah, it was all the Most High's plan. And then the name Banyamyan means son of the right. That's what it means, son of the right. Just wanted to add that in there.
Con. Verse 23, and it came to pass, when he came up unto thy servant, my father, we told him the words of my Lord. And our father said, go again and buy us a little food. And we said, we cannot go down if our youngest brother be with us. Then will we go down, for we may not see the man's face except our youngest brother be with us. And thy servant, my father, said unto us, ye know that my wife bare me two sons, and the one went out from me. And I said, surely he is torn in pieces, and I saw him not since.
Gone. So they're still pushing that lie. Remember, we read about the cloak of many colors.
Mm-hmm.
All right, where they brought the cloak back to Israel.
And they had blood on it.
Right, they put the blood on it, okay, and tore it up, and told him he must have got attacked by a wild beast in the way. Okay, so they're still portraying that lie.
They still pushing the lie, man. Ain't that deep?
Everybody playing games. Come.
Read.
And if ye take this also from me in mischief befall him, ye shall bring down my gray hairs with sorrow to the grave. Now therefore, when I come to thy servant, my father, and the lad be not with us, seeing that his life is bound up in the lad's life, it shall come to pass, when he seeth that the lad is not with us, that he will die, and thy servants shall bring down the gray hairs of thy servant, our father, with sorrow to his grave.
So he's saying, at this point in time, okay, Joseph has had his stewards and whatnot put his glass, his drinking cup, he's hitting it in Benjamin's sack, all right? Then he sent the guards after him after they left to find it. So whoever it is, is supposed to be his slave. They're supposed to be in prison, supposed to be his slave. All right. And Judah's saying, man, we can't do that. If we come back without this lad, our younger brother, it's gonna kill our father. We can't do it. So what Benjamin is doing is he's offering himself instead of what Judah is doing. He's offering himself instead of Benjamin. Read.
Ain't that ironic though? How he had that pimp a Negro out spirit, and now he just flipped it like, yo, we can't do it, man. We can't do it. So the Most High, he don't play, man. He'll show you that you're gonna do the right thing, or it ain't gonna be nothing. But go ahead, brother.
32. For thy servant became surety for the lad unto my father, saying, if I bring him not unto thee, then I shall bear the blame to my father forever. Now therefore I pray thee.
What is the surety? What is that?
I want to say like not a pact, but like a contract, or
Yeah,
Kinda
sort
like-
of.
Insurance policy.
There you go. Insurance. He said, I'm going to be the insurance that this is what's going to happen.
Con.
I'm going to make sure I guarantee it by doing this, like a surety bond. Like if you got a company, what they call that? The company's got to get liability insurance. So if anything goes wrong, then they cover it. Say for instance, if I cut down a tree and smash your house, you covered. So this is gonna go through. Ain't nothing gonna happen to your house, but the job is gonna get done. And if something do go wrong, then this is we're gonna fix it. But go ahead.
Verse 33. Now therefore I pray thee, let thy servant abide instead of the lad, a bondman to my Lord, and let the lad go up with his brethren.
So Judah's saying, let me be a bondman instead of the lad. Let me be a slave instead of the lad, because that's what bondman is. Okay, he's a slave. All right.
So the Most High flipped it.
God.
He wanted to sell the man into slavery. Now he's offering himself.
man.
None of the other brothers got that spirit on them, but he got the spirit on him. Let me get myself up.
All right.
The last verse.
To the brother he was trying to sell.
Right.
See how ironic. I told you, the Most High got a cold sense of humor, man. All right. Read.
For how shall I go up to my father, and the lad be not with me, lest peradventure I see the evil that shall come on my father.
That's pre-adventure. I see the evil that shall come upon my father. Lest he see, his father get his heart broken and die, or be worried sick, He's an older man now. His life is bound up in Benjamin. you know. So, hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Kalashara,
Hallelujah.
Kalashara,
Kalashara.
Dabar Yahweh,
Labar Yahweh,
Labar Yahweh.
Naisha,
Nasha,
Wanashamai,
Shamai.
all Yahweh said,
All Yahweh said.
do we hear and do.
what we hear and do. Did you have anything you wanted to add to what you just read?
No, cause we already say that that Judah was offering himself up.
Yeah.
Yeah, cause I remember this from the last
From last week.
Yeah.
I said it's gonna be a little bit of review, but
Yeah, because y'all read all the way through.
Now the part where Benjamin hasn't been taken yet, right?
Benjamin has not. Well, they're back. Okay. The
Did
guards went and chased them down.
Mm-hmm.
They searched the packs looking for the.
Oh, we already there.
Yeah.
So they
And
found
they
the
found. They found the car.
Con. Okay, I know where we at now.
Okay.
What else you got on that, brother?
That's about it. That's it on that.
Okay, now this is good practice breaking down scriptures, because when we out there on the streets or we teaching anybody, we got the inside, we got the understanding of what the Bible is saying, because we actually reading it and breaking it down and going to the words, going to the Greek. So that's why it's important. This ain't the sexiest stuff. This ain't the cuts. This ain't the deepest breakdowns. This ain't nothing but straight up Israelite history that every Israelite should know. If you don't know it, how you gonna deal in this? How you gonna come out here and break this out? Hosea 4:6 says, "My people perish for the lack of knowledge." And if we reject the knowledge, if we don't want to learn the history and the knowledge, we don't see heads getting cut off and blood and guts and all that here, but we see the history. He said we reject this history, reject it and not know this, then he's gonna reject us. How can we say we know him if we ain't getting to know what his personality, what he's about? We don't know nothing about him. We don't know nothing about Israel. We know he loved Israel, but we don't know nothing about Israel. Why he loved Israel? We seeing it. We seeing the spirit that these brothers had on them, the actions that they did throughout their lives. So we can expound on Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Joseph, Ephraim, Manasseh. I want y'all to know who their mothers are. Be able to expound on that. We should be able to know our family history. Job 8 and 8. Let me grab that real quick as a preset, just real quick. We're gonna try to get through this very fast. 8 and 8. Bring this out real quick. So you got to say con.
Con.
Okay. He says, are you looking for it, brother?
No, read.
He says, "For inquire, I pray thee, of the former age, and prepare thyself to the search of their fathers." So he's telling us we got to do this history, we got to do this research, and we got to learn the past. That's what he's commanding us to do. That's why we reading it. Because if we don't read it, how we going to know it? And how we going to be out in the streets like the dude said, well, y'all never even actually read the Bible. That was like the dumbest thing he could ever said. I should have told him that, but I was so locked into the daggone demon that was out there antagonizing us and scoffing. I was just looking at scriptures to cut that demon and give us edification. See, when we out there, we ain't just edifying the crowd and the people. We actually edifying ourselves too. I'm edifying myself. Because he might say something that triggers a scripture that's in the back of my mind that I forgot about, that's going to take me to it and read it. So that's why we do it. We do that, and then Deuteronomy 32 real quick. This is why we read this old stuff. It ain't necessarily, like I said, the sexiest stuff, but you get a lesson out of it. You learn how they moved, how they operated, what was going on with those brothers, what their spirit was like. Deuteronomy. So anybody come along and say we only deal with the Bible, we don't go to other books. We go to other books, but this it can't go against this book. This is our foundation right here. This is the foundation, and everything else get built on top of that. Deuteronomy 32 and 7. He says, "Remember the days of old, and consider the many generations. the many Salaki, and consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will show thee, thy elders, and they will tell thee. When the Most High divided the nations, see, he's talking about going all the way back and knowing all the history you can know. When I was down in Dominican Republic, the Red was like, "Yo, she don't even know. She still don't even know nothing about herself or her history, where she come from. Why? Because the so-called white man Esau got her locked into all kind of distractions, soap opera, stuff that's going on in this world. When we should be knowing who we are. You can ask that damn African; he'll tell you who he is. Our people down in the islands will tell you, oh, that don't matter. Don't none of that matter. And then they'll call themselves a so-called white man. Yeah, I'm a white man. Go to a damn Nigerian or a Hamite somewhere, a Cushite, and tell them, yo, are you a white man? He said, why would you say something so insulting to me? This is where I come from. I come from this person, and they even put it in their names. That's why we say bond such and such, bond such and such. They'll put their lineage in their name, like a Dupafa, son of, this tribe. You see what I'm saying? So we want to know who we are. We want to connect ourselves. It does matter who you are. The white man don't want you to know. He wants you to go off of a damn land. Like the scripture said, he names himself after his lands, or he names lands after his own name. We see that he do that all the time. Traffic stops, daggone George Washington Boulevard down in Texas, damn General Custer up in Wyoming, no, up in South Dakota. You gonna name the street after the enemy, and the damn Indian gotta look at the daggone Indian gotta look at it every day to remind him of his oppressor. And then look at Mount Rushmore, looking at the devil. You see what I'm saying? So we want to look at this stuff. We want to read this stuff. We want to know this stuff. We want to know who is Joseph. What does his name mean? Yawasap. Or what is his name in the Hebrew? What does it mean? Where are they at today? That's stuff we're going to go through next week. But go ahead, next chapter, brother. Or next reader.
Okay, just to let you know, we were going over it last week. Now, from here in the 45.
Oh, he got more commentary, bro. You can sit down until you're done.
In 45, okay, it goes right to Joseph telling them who he is, okay. But if you look in the book of Jasher, okay, which is referenced, we don't know if it's the real book of Jasher or not. The story is more elaborated on, which I told you last week. When him and Joseph when Joseph and Judah were having a standoff.
Oh yeah, and he was gonna pull his sword.
That's in the book of Jasher. Okay.
Khan, and let me say this about the book of Jasher and Enoch and all those other books.
I said we don't know this.
Now, like he said, those books can be used, but we got to understand that there's some meat and some bones. So we got to chew up the meat and spit out the bones. If it goes against what I said earlier, if it goes against this, it ain't right, because I'm not saying it's not inspired doctrine. I'm not saying that none of the Dead Sea Scrolls are not inspired doctrine. I'm saying Esau got it like this. Now we can say it's a white man's book because he can put his touch on it, because Negroes didn't hold on to those records for thousands of years. So he'll say stuff like Noah was white, his sons was white, 3 white cows and 1 black cow was Canaan or Ham. Try to write themselves in the history. So that's all you got to do. Just look out for the bones. You can read it. I'm not saying don't read it. We just read everything you can. So whoever came along and said we can't read and study and get information, this ain't no religion. This ain't no cult. This ain't Christianity. We want you brothers to be on the high scholarly level.
You froze, looking crazy.
Like I was smoking all kind of meth. Anyway, the hell? I know it's still going. The ticker's still counting. Anyway, read what you can. Learn everything you can. Look at everything Esau's saying. Look into it, man. Investigate. Scripture says, study the answer. 1 Thessalonians 5:22. Prove all things. What they call that? Let me get the scripture real quick. In the Apocrypha, he says, be not ignorant of any matter, small, great nor small. Okay, there we go. We back. Let me get that real quick. because this is stuff that I want y'all to know. Ecclesiastes 5 and 15. Grab that real quick. Is this yours? Come on. Let's get to it first, though. Let's get to it. Sorry, rack. Come on, it's in that pocket. You ain't got that pocketbook, brother? We got to get one from Barnes and Nobles.
You can borrow mine.
Okay, you can borrow the brothers.
5 and 15.
Con,
Come
you bring it out when you got it.
Come. Just waiting on Tazadaki.
Okay, when you get it, say con, brother.
I think it's page 73.
73. Con, go ahead and bring it out, brother.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 5 verse 15.
Mm-hmm.
Be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or small.
So be not ignorant means what? Don't anybody outside of my church I can't listen to. My pastor got it all. You stay locked into the zone.
We the only ones with the truth.
We the only ones dealing with the truth. I mean, that's the greatest lie that could ever been told, man. Because there's libraries filled with books. What's the truth? You the only ones with the truth. Let's get the truth real quick. I'll get it. Y'all ain't got to go to it. This is Psalms 119. But this is telling us to look into everything we can, man. This ain't saying you can sit there and be stupid. What else I want? Psalms.
119.
Psalms 119.
Come.
This is like one of the longest books in the Bible, or verses or chapters in the Bible right here. I believe it's the longest.
What verse you want?
142. When you got it, you can read that.
Psalms 119 verse 142.
Everybody got it?
Come.
Last one, we're going back to the law. But these are the lessons you get, from the law. This is understanding you get. But go ahead.
Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth.
So that's what the truth is. The law. So for me to come along and say that anything else besides the law is the truth, that means I'm dealing with a demon. That means I'm dealing with Satan. That means I'm anti-Christ, because I'm going against what Christ said. Not for him, but against him. You got it, Mark?
I
Come
think you
on.
brought that out last night too. Come.
Oh, you brought that out last night?
Yeah, we were studying last night, coming up with some lessons.
Trying to find,
Cool for camp.
Come.
Dope. But yeah, man, that's what it is, man. So for me to say anything outside of that means I don't believe what God said. I believe what a man said. So there's no way around that. You can't. There's nothing you can say that will undo the scripture. For you to say that y'all the only ones with the truth, that means y'all the only ones keeping the law on the planet. That means y'all the only ones that can teach somebody what the law say. The only ones that you got to show that in the scripture, man. But the scripture, when you go to the scripture, says something different.
Come.
And that's what I brought out on the conference class last week, that we got to go according to what God say, not man. That Romans 3, let God be true and every man a liar. Every man, I don't give a damn what he called himself, what flattering title he put on himself. You ain't agreeing with God, so I can't have nothing to do with what you talking about, man. What sin of a lie that's in the truth? 1% of a lie is a whole lie. It's all a lie. We got to reject all of it. That's why we got to be able to stand on our doctrine meaning our teachings, and defend it. But you got anything else to bring out on that?
No.
Next reader. You ready to salute him in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Get him first.
Okay, yeah.
So we
45.
Genesis 45. Then Joseph could not refrain himself.
He can't reframe himself, man. Like, I can't even keep a straight face when I'm disciplining my own kids, man. It's hard to check your emotions because we're emotional people. But go ahead.
before all them that stood by him, and he cried.
He cried, man, letting you know that he has compassion, feelings. He's not merciless like a damn African would be, like the so-called white man. He like, yo, he broke down like, this is my brothers, man. I miss him. I love him. I can't keep up the charade. Go ahead.
Cause every man to go out.
He caused every man to go out. He told everybody, leave me. Read.
Me, wait,
And
there stood no man with him, while Joseph made himself known unto his brethren.
So Joseph caused all his servants and guards to leave, while he made himself known unto his brother. Hey, it's me. Y'all been dealing with me this whole time. Okay. Read.
hold on. This is an emotional time.
Con.
You see that? This is emotional, man. So could you just see? I can just when the scriptures is read, it's like a movie playing out in my mind. That's how I remember it. It's like I'm watching a movie and seeing it happen. So he broke down and crying. Could you imagine what they? I'm standing there. I'm one of his brothers. I'm Judah, and this dude coming down on me like he about to take me and put me in slavery. I don't know what's going to happen. And he started breaking down crying. I'm like, okay. What's going on here? What is he gonna do, man? The king of the world, like George Bush or somebody call you to the White House and you got guards and military about to kill you or whatever. You don't know what's gonna happen. They about to throw us in the Guantanamo Bay, man. They making it seem like we the worst terrorists ever. We done stole from out of the White House's, Fort Knox or something. They called us in the Washington. They accusing us of this and that. I'm terrified. Like, what's gonna happen? We're not afraid to die, but I don't want to be tortured. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't want to be tortured. Not me. I don't want to be waterboarded and all that. And it takes a demon to do something like that, but I wouldn't wish that on nobody. And that's how Joseph is like, yo, I can't keep this up. I can't make them suffer like that, have them worried, thinking they about to die or whatever. I can't push that on them, man. I gotta break it down. So the brothers sitting there scared to death. And they thinking something bad about to happen to one of their brothers. I don't even want nothing to happen to anybody that I care about. You know what I'm saying? I don't want nothing to happen to them. And he starts to say, well, I'm really your brother. Jaw drop. I think you did.
Because remember what we read the other day, right? Where they said, or last week, all right, where they were like, our sins have caught up to us. Okay, so they think this is the Most High bringing judgment on them. This whole thing with Joseph before they know it's Joseph. They think he's bringing judgment on them for what they did to Joseph.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, it's kind of like I said, Most High got a cold sense of humor.
Yeah, he cold. You can't make this up, man. You can't make this up. You went from kidnapping a man. This man's telling you he's about to rule over all of us. And now I see it with my eyes. How do I doubt the Most High at that point? Whatever he say is law for me now. For now, here on out. When I see something with my eyes, evidence, or proof, or whatever, it's got to be law. And the scripture spoke to that too, about how it's kind of impossible for somebody to see something like that, for them to go to the world. And if they go to the world, for them to come back, you got to be dealing with a high-level demon for you to see a miracle, something that can't take place, come to pass. You're like, nah, man, you can't. Nothing you can tell me, man. Ain't nothing. I don't care how wise or how much mathematics you good with, and how much of a mathematical wizard.
That's the way I felt with my shoulder. There's nothing you can say to me to say I'm not Israel and this ain't the truth.
Right.
Okay, I had a torn rotator cuff. All right. A torn rotator cuff requires surgery to be healed. There is no other way to heal it. Okay. I got down. I prayed in this truth in Yahweh's name that the Most High heal it. Say if I wake up with pain in the morning, then you heal me by saying I need to go to the doctor and get these shots because the VA wasn't paying for it. Okay, for the surgery. And if I wake up without pain, I know you did it again. Either way, I did. Either way, it was going to be healed by him. Okay. But like I explained to him, I don't trust Esau.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. could you please do this? I went to sleep. I couldn't even lay on this side. Okay, I couldn't roll this way. All right, my hand went up like that, about that far. That's as high as I could lift it. Okay, couldn't put it behind my back, anything. All right, woke up the next morning, no pain whatsoever. Had full range of motion in my arm. All right, went to the doctor that day. They testing it, pulling on it, everything. Now I had MRIs, right, CAT scan, X-rays, and everything. I actually seen the tear. They showed me, right? It ain't there no more. You can't. You can't. I mean, all praises to the Most High. You know.
Con.
I mean, just like you can't tell me this ain't the truth. You can't tell me that we ain't the children of Israel.
Right, right.
You can't tell me that. There's nothing you can do to convince me that we're not.
Especially this brother, man, because I don't know too many people that's blessed on the level this brother blessed on. Most High definitely blessed that brother, man. He blessed. So for you to turn around and spit in the Most High's face, man, it'd be terrible. That's why this thing, I want y'all to see that, man. This thing ain't no club. It ain't no religion. This is for life. You get in it, you stay in it. For life. I remember one time, somebody haven't seen me in years. They came to me as like, you still in that Israelite stuff, man? It's for life. I'm going to be Israel till I die. I know who I am, and that's who I'm going to be until I'm dead. I'm going to keep doing what the Most High required of our people, man. What's required of us to keep his commandments. I'm going to keep rolling with that. I fall, I'm getting back up. Period. The devil ain't going to be strong enough to keep me down, smack me down, and have me reject the Most High's word. You getting something, brother?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember it, but better if you had never known the truth than come to the truth and fall out of it.
Khan, that's in Ezekiel, I believe. I believe it's Ezekiel.
Never know the truth.
Yeah.
I'm looking for it.
You did all this yourself.
Is
Oh no, I put that in there. They got them in Barnes and Nobles.
it's Peter, 2 Peter.
Second Peter's.
Peter's in 21.
Yeah, 2 and 21.
2 and 21.
Second Peter's 2:21.
The book of 2 Peter, chapter 2, verse 21.
Let everybody get it first.
Con.
Oh, yep. That speaks exactly what you're saying. Khan, I'm there. Yeah, sometimes I like to leave my Bibles where they at.
That's why I got like
Yeah.
5 over here. Cause
I remember those days I used to read for the brother, man. We had like 5, 6 Bibles just open, so I ain't got to be scrambling.
yeah. Con.
Come.
Read.
For it had been better for them not to have known.
For it would be better for them, okay? For it will be better for an Israelite to not have known who they were, okay? Known the truth. Read.
Not have known the way of righteousness.
What's the way of righteousness? The way of righteousness is the law, statutes, and commandments, who you are, who the truth of the Bible, the truth of the scriptures, the truth of this world. Read.
Yeah, I was shy.
Then after they have known it, to turn from the holy commandment delivered unto them.
For them to know it and then turn from the holy commandment delivered to them. So the Most High is telling you right there, right? It's better if you had never known it. It would go better for you personally if you never knew my law. Okay? Then for you to know it, pick it up, do it for a hot minute, and then leave it. Okay?
Goes back to if you know better, you'll do better.
Well, if you know better, you do better, yeah. But if you fear the Most High, you ain't leaving this. You ain't leaving this law. And He just told you, if you do, you know, he coming down on you like a ton of bricks, right? So the beginning of knowledge and beginning of wisdom is the fear of the Most High. Okay. If you don't fear the Most High and you go and you leave this word after finding it, you leave it. I know you ain't got no fear of the Most High. You have no wisdom whatsoever. Because He tells you, I'm going to come down on you like a ton of bricks. All right. But let's get back to the main. Take over for me. I'm gonna go put these kids.
I got you. What verse 1, 2?
Verse 2, yeah.
Verse 2. And he wept aloud, and the Egyptians in the house of Pharaoh heard. And Joseph said unto his brethren, I am Joseph. Doeth my father yet live? And his brethren could not answer him, for they were troubled at his presence.
Just like we just spent like almost a half hour expounding on. Go ahead.
And Joseph said unto his brethren, Come near to me, I pray you. And they came near, and he said, I am Joseph, your brother, whom ye sold into Egypt. Now, therefore, be not grieved nor angry with yourselves.
Why not? Read.
That ye sold me hither.
Mm-hmm.
For God did send me before you to preserve life.
He sent me. The Most High sent him into Egypt. They just were pieces to the puzzle. They were just prawns. What do you call it? Pawns. You know what I'm saying? So the Most High made that move happen. Go ahead.
For these 2 years have the famine been in the land,
Mm-hmm.
and yet there are 5 years, in the which there shall neither be earing nor harvest.
So he's going according to the vision that the Most High showed him, the prophecy. Go ahead.
And God sent me before you to preserve you a posterity
Mm-hmm.
in the earth, and to save your lives by great deliverance.
Great deliverance. Read.
So now it was not you that sent me hither, but God.
So it wasn't you that sent me here in the bondage and slavery in Egypt, sold me out, but it was the Most High. It was His plan all along. It was already planned out when I received the vision. He said, this is going to happen. But He didn't know the details to the end of that vision. He just knew He was going to be set up. But this is what had to happen in order for Him to be set up, to raise to the top. Just like us. We're going to be ruling the world in the very end forever and ever. We're going to be like Joseph, but we ain't going to have Pharaoh nowhere in the picture. But this is a part of the process of that happening. But go ahead.
And he hath made me a father to Pharaoh.
So he's like, son that man. He sunned him. Pharaoh can't even say nothing, man. Whatever he think, well, like, just give it to Joseph, man. I don't know. I got all power, but I'm giving it to him. Let him make the decision. He rules over everything except for my wife. Everything is his except for her. But go ahead, brother.
Salaki. I was gonna say, go back. I'm gonna give you a precept for that last verse that you read. Okay, about the Most High setting them up. It was the Most High's plan. Okay, Proverbs 20 and 24.
And this is what I like to do. I like to write the precepts in my Bible.
Me
That'll
too.
finish marking mine up.
You said 20 and 24?
Con.
I got it marked too.
Genesis. That's a great precept.
20 and 24.
Read.
Proverbs 20 and 24. Man's goings are of the Lord. How can a man then understand his own way?
Salari Khan. Man's goings are of the Lord. Therefore, how can a man understand his own way? Okay. This just basically, this is a head chapter on free will. Okay. Man's goings are of the Lord. Man's ways are of the Lord. You go the way the Most High wants you to go. No other way. Okay. How can you know? Therefore, how can you know your own way? Just as Joseph just said here. I'm not worried. I'm not mad at you because this was the Most High's plan. He had you do that to put me here so that I could preserve your lives later. Okay. The Most High operates like that every day. Okay.
Con.
Our entire lives are like that. When you come into this truth, after you come into this truth, you can look back and think on what it took to get you to the point to where you learned this truth. Some of us have amazing stories, like things that just don't happen. I mean, we know there ain't no coincidence, okay? But if you're not in the truth, say, man, that's a hell of a coincidence.
Yeah.
No, it's the plan of the Most High. Okay. Your goings are His will. Okay. You don't know your own way. All right. But that's all I wanted to add there. Back to
No. Before you go there, Psalms 37:23.
Second Bible to look into, you just fine.
Just make sure you're writing these notes down because this is good stuff the brother brought out, man.
You said Psalm.
Con 37:23.
Come on.
Go ahead, bring it out.
Psalms 37 and 23. The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, and he delighteth in his way.
The Most High delighteth in the way his steps are ordered. Next verse, Jeremiah 10:23. Go ahead.
Jeremiah 10 and 23.
Oh, hold on. Let me mark this real quick. Let me mark it. I tell you, man, this book gonna be worth $1 million when I get done marking it up. You're gonna have all precepts right at your fingertips. There's Bibles out there that's literally worth, like, I seen one worth $8 million, man. How's a Bible worth $8 million? Go ahead.
Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 23.
Mm-hmm.
O Lord, I know that the way of man is not in himself.
Mm-hmm.
It is not in man that walketh to direct his steps.
So what the brother was bringing out is what it is, man. The Most High is the ultimate man behind the scenes, and you just a pawn being moved on his chessboard. That's it. And the scriptures even say the heart of the king is in the hand of the Most High. Like Pharaoh, the scripture said he held,
He turned it which way as he pleased.
Yeah, he said he hardened Pharaoh's heart. Like he was inside his mind and he made him do what he wanted him to do. When you say turn it where he will, what scripture is that? that in the notes.
The heart of the king is in the hands of the Most High. He twisted whichever way he pleases or something like that. I can't remember exactly what script it is.
Proverbs 21.
Is it Proverbs 21?
Oh, let me check. Confirm that.
The Lord hardened the heart of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. That's Exodus 14:8.
Okay, I'm gonna write that too. But before you go there, let's hold that, brother. And what scripture we say? Proverbs 21 and 1.
Oh, smart. Dang. What you say? All right. The Lord, you said, he turned it to heart.
Yeah, Proverbs
21 and 1. It's 21 and 1.
Go ahead, brother. When everybody got it anyway.
Done.
So this last one was Psalms or Jeremiah 10:23. Yeah. 21:23 is the last one we was at. Or slightly 10:23 was the last one for your notes. Make sure y'all taking notes, man, because this stuff is like jewels, man. Go through what?
Then we'll go back and mark up.
Oh, mark up your score. Okay.
Cause I highlight them, but I gotta just write them down.
Yeah. You gotta be able to link them up, man. You gotta be able to link them up because somebody gonna come and ask you that question in the future, man. Like I said, y'all set up to be the priest.
Would this be considered law
What is that?
that you don't have free will?
Everything in the scriptures law.
Well, I'm saying like a commandment.
Well, it's not something that you can, it's not something that you, how do you explain that?
You should make it law. I mean, whatever the Most High will is, that's what you should submit to.
Right.
Whatever He wants, I ain't got no problem with it, man.
But the thing is this, okay? The Most High's will is supreme. Whatever you're doing, whatever it is, it's the Most High's will, okay? It's just like, you can't, like, and I brought this out before to other people. You can't pray and ask for something that the Most High doesn't want you to have, okay? Because if you did pray for something that the Most High didn't want you to have, it would break the scripture. Okay? Because Yahushua said, anything that you ask in my name, the Father would give unto you. So you wouldn't even be able to ask it. Not directly anyway. Okay? You know, you would come up with an out. Like, if I be found worthy, if it be your will, okay, you wouldn't just directly ask for it. If the Most High didn't want you to do it, if He didn't want to give it to you, you wouldn't be able to because you can't go against His will, and the scripture can't be broken. So everything that you do, okay, in your life, all right, when you thought that you got up and you turned left instead of right, okay, that was the Most High. All right, that wasn't your choice. You think it's your choice, all right, but it actually was not your choice. Okay, your steps are directed by the Most High. Okay, it's an illusion that was created in great part by the Catholic Church. When they came up with that doctrine that there was a war in heaven and that Lucifer fell as he was jealous that we had free will and they didn't, you know, well, your soul gives you free will, you know. That's nowhere in the Bible.
Lucifer is, but
Lucifer is in the Bible.
it's not talking about Satan.
No, it's talking about Nebuchadnezzar.
And also, it's a parable for the so-called white man.
Does it say anything
Twofold.
in the Bible that Satan is a man of music and God made him perfect or something?
Well, God did make him perfect. I don't know if that's a verse. I never seen it. But the Most High made certain Satan to serve. He's doing his job when he's out being wicked. That's what he was created to do. He ain't rebelling. He's answering to the Most High. Ain't no fight.
Satan has no power on his own. Okay, Satan did not fall from heaven. Okay, and he took a third of the angels with him or whatever, and they slept with women. Okay, and made giants and big head kids. You know, kids that look like what's old boy the rapper that look like the gremlin
Lil Wayne.
Lil Wayne. All right. You know, that did not happen. That never happened. That's a doctrine created by the Catholic Church. Same way as you'll never find immaculate conception anywhere in this Bible. Like I said, we have a challenge.
Uh-oh.
Say if you could find the words immaculate conception in the Bible, we'll give you $1,000.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Let's start something.
So like,
If you can find where it says angels fell and had sex with humans, I'll give you $1,000. Okay, because what you're looking at is not actually true. You got a misunderstanding of the scripture. Okay, remember the scriptures can't be broken. So if another scripture contradicts you, what you think you're reading, somebody has the wrong understanding.
My grandfather's a Christian.
Oh, Christians, they believe that wholeheartedly. And the devil feel because he wanted to take God, he wanted to take over for God. How the hell you gonna take over for the most ultimate power in existence? Okay, how you gonna take over for that? How you gonna? In other words, what you're saying is Satan's an idiot. Okay, because he knows that the Most High made everything, made him and everything else. His power is unlimited. Okay, his knowledge and wisdom is unlimited, and you gonna go against him? Okay, you an idiot. All right. These are questions, like I said, when I was young, grandma and them take me to church. I'm asking these questions. Well, how did Satan fool the Most High? Okay. Just shut up, boy.
It's always just shut up when you can't answer the
You
question.
know?
Salakia, could you run those precepts one more time? It was from Genesis 45, and then the precept to that, no free will.
Oh, man.
I got.
Oh, man, brother. You got to get it from Azaria. I wrote it in my Bible. I didn't write it on a page.
Because I'm writing in my Bible, I ain't writing on my page.
You gotta watch the video later.
Yeah, watch that video, man. It's funny because these videos only get like 1 or 2 views or 3 views, but they can't get, 20, 50, 300.
Israel love that drama.
Just let you know, Israel, man, they like to see some battles, man.
They love that drama. I wonder how much Shoe Kissing got.
Where do you get this from?
I think it might be close to 1,000
Yeah, I got it from praying.
on Facebook. You don't get 1,000 views on Facebook.
Is this sticky paper?
No,
That's amazing.
Okay, back
I wanted to say something though, real quick. Read that verse.
Proverbs 21.
Mm-hmm.
Proverbs 21 from the top. The king's heart is in the hands of the Lord. As the rivers of the water, he turneth it whithersoever he will.
So the king's heart is in the Most High's hand. King is the mortal man with a little peanut brain that explode trying to fathom the things the Most High is dealing with. He can't even understand what's going on in the earth. We went through that before you brothers started coming to the school or the church. The brother, the Most High said that we told the prophet Job, like, yo, you ain't even dealing on the little small molecular level that you on. You want to deal with this big super knowledge I got? Explain what's going on around you in the physical realm. He couldn't. Ezra stepped to him like, yo, I know I can't, but I still got questions. He said, okay, I'm going to answer your question because you came humbly. But the Most High, get Daniel real quick. Daniel 2 and 20 real quick. We're going to move on.
That's another thing too. When you answer the Most High, if he somehow decides to answer you, all right, when you question him, if he somehow decides to answer you, it normally don't go well. For you.
Right. So Joseph, since Joseph not on here,
He's on there, but he's split into two tribes. He's from Manasseh
Ephraim and
Why is that?
Manasseh,
Why he the only
they're
one
half
that's-
tribes.
because he became two sub tribes. He had two sons that became tribes. They're gonna come back together in the last days, and they're gonna be called the tribe of Joseph. But right now, they called the tribe of Ephraim and Manasseh. The Puerto Ricans and so-called Puerto Ricans and the so-called Cubans, they're the same. They're brothers.
Joseph, he had the two sons by the Egyptian woman. Okay. And they became, Joseph died in Egypt. All right. They created half, when you read further on, they tell you that they're half tribes. Okay.
So then
So
which one of the
Dan
brothers is not on here?
Dan.
Dan? Why is that?
Well, the reason he's not on there because he's not mentioned in 144,000 because his tribe is so small that it don't make up that number. But he's still a tribe of Israel that's going to be saved. He's still on the gates. He's still in Israel. We're going to bring all that out next week. We're going to break down all we're going to do the 12 tribe chart breakdown. We're going to bring it out. But that's why he's not mentioned on there, because he's not mentioned in the 144.
But who would he consider to be?
Who would he be now? I'm gonna
Kitts and like
I'm gonna bring that out.
Barbados, all
Not Barbados, but
islands.
the islands that run along south of the side of Puerto Rico on down to South America. That must be his people. Trinidad is
That's big.
Banyamyam. But Barbados, that's Banyamyam too. Barbados, but we're gonna break that down next week. I'm gonna go to a whole breakdown on that. But there's two different breakdowns on it that I learned. I learned one from the camp in Ohio, dealing with what the brother just said, and I learned another one dealing with the Black Irish. So we're gonna go into both understandings.
So we deep. Yeah, we got together, man. We be running the whole world.
Yeah, we're in the billions, man.
It's more people it's more black people, more Israelites in South America than it is in America.
Yeah.
Their numbers is way higher than us. They say it's about 43 million in America, but in Brazil alone is 54 million.
There's more blacks there than anywhere in the world besides Africa. Check that out. Yep. But where we at, brother? Daniel 2 and 20. Let's just read that and we're gonna keep it moving.
You say Daniel?
Just the book of Daniel, chapter 2, verse 20.
And this link up to what we just read in Proverbs. Whether Proverbs we just read or Psalms.
Want some water?
Proverbs, Psalm.
Well, this link up to all that. How the king's heart is in the hand. How the Most High controls the kings. But go ahead.
No, I said, do you want some water?
Sure, I'll take some.
This the book of Daniel, chapter 2, verse 20.
Go ahead.
Daniel answered and said, Blessed be the name of God forever and ever, for wisdom and might are his.
So everything that he's dealing with is on a whole super high level that a man, I don't care if he's a king or what he considers himself to be, he ain't even thinking about coming on that level. Go ahead.
And he changes it, the times and the
So
seasons.
there's just power that makes the sun turn and makes the universe go into its cycle. The wind goes into its circuits. He's the one that pushes, his power is the one that pushes the waves and is holding the earth together and making the streams go into the river and the river go back to the ocean. He's the one keeping oxygen in circulation. He's the one maintaining life. It ain't the sun. He's maintaining the sun. Who lit the sun? It was the Most High. Everybody want to worship the created instead of the creator. We don't want to worship the sun. We want to say who lit the sun? How did the sun come to be? Go ahead.
Or right in front of you.
he removeth kings,
He do what?
removeth kings,
So he takes kings and put them down, and what else he do?
and settleth up kings.
And he set up kings. Go ahead.
He giveth wisdom unto the wise, and knowledge to them that know understanding.
So there's the Most High behind the whole thing all the way. You think you got an idea, you think you got a spirit on you to do something, you think that you the one that made your money, you think you the one that accomplished whatever you was trying to accomplish. That wasn't you, man. If it was up to the Most High, if he felt like it, you could be in a damn wheelchair paralyzed somewhere. So you ought to be happy and blessed that the Most High is working with us, man. You could be somewhere suffering. You could be blind. Yo, I did this and I did that, and I'm the one that started this business, and I'm the one that did this corporation, and everybody,
You know what that
it's
is?
all about me.
Come shut it down.
You know what that is?
Break it down.
It's vainglory. Vainglory and pride.
Pride.
All right. You didn't do anything. Your goings aren't your own. We just read that. I put in all this work, and whatnot. It was me. No, it wasn't, brother. It was the Most High.
It was the Most High. Exactly. And Joseph is acknowledging that. It wasn't you that sold me down into Egypt, but it was the Most High that put me down into Egypt. He's the one that sold me into bondage. He's the one that raised me up. It wasn't me. It was him. So the sooner we come to that realization, the better off we'll be.
And this is before the law was written.
He had it already mapped out. Joseph didn't have any choice in the matter. He's going down into bondage. Just like we brought out the so-called white man on the call. He ain't got no choice in the matter. I don't care how much technology, how smart he think he is, or what he can develop or whatever. He is going into bondage. The Most High will make that collapse on itself. You should see like the flukes that happened in history to even set them hounds up, man. Like they would have never won the battle in 70 AD to take us out if the Most High wouldn't have caused the wall to collapse. Like the wall just had to collapse. We was smashing them. I mean, they was about to turn tail and go back home. We can't win. Then the wall fell. They came pouring in there like roaches and rats. And they won the war.
Where you are, what you eat.
And you can't say that ain't the Most High, man. We smashing them. We are literally smashing them. Our poor little country is beating down the Romans. And the last day he was about to leave, he like, man, we can't win. We got to turn back. We running low on supplies. We running low on this. We got to turn back. The damn wall fall. Oh, the gods have shined on us. Sack them. So they poured up in there like roaches and destroyed our city. It was the Most High wanted it that way. Christ told him, man, you not going to win that. Well, you supposed to be the Christ, man. You supposed to be the one to wave your hand and everybody turn into dust like Thanos. Nope. Yeah. You're supposed to snap your fingers. They all supposed to just poof out of existence. You see that? That's where these daggone movies get their motivation from, the scriptures, man. Everything go back to the scriptures. Everything. So we got to realize that it's the Most High, man. If he don't want it, it ain't gonna be. If he didn't want Obama to be in there passing homosexuality, it wouldn't never happen, man. It wasn't me. It wasn't my vote, because I didn't vote anyway, because I don't believe in voting. You know? Unless it's one of y'all. I'll vote for y'all, yeah. You say I want to be city council, you got my vote. But I'm not about to vote for a damn devil. Why would I do that? That's against the law. That's in the law, it's not to do it. Side note, we're going to go right to the scripture, back to the law. Real quick, Deuteronomy 17. Yeah. Because they went, you don't vote. What's wrong with him? I'm just following the law, that's all. The divine instruction by the Most High. Deuteronomy 17. It's funny because I brought this out one time on TV. I was trying to get on CNN. There was a press conference. I brought it out. They're like, you're supposed to vote, man. You're going to see change, don't you? I'm like, well, let's see what God said. Nobody never want to hear what God said. Deuteronomy 17 and I want to say 19. Hold on. Where is it? Well, tell me I'm forgetting scriptures now.
You already know.
Let me see.
How old are you, by the way? You never told me.
22. Let me see real quick.
Paraphrase it.
It says something about not setting a king over thee.
I'm trying to find that one. I know which one you're talking about too.
When Israel asked for a king, right? When they asked the Most High for a king, he was like, "You what?"
Okay, I got it right here. Deuteronomy 17, 14.
Remember, he wasn't happy when we asked for a king, like the other nations had.
What chapter?
Deuteronomy 17, verse
14. I thought I wasn't going crazy. I'm like, I thought it was like 14 or 15, but that, what the heck? No, I ain't losing it. What was you saying, brother?
Wow. Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, I was just saying, when we asked for a king, the Most High wasn't happy about that.
That's crazy. I had that mark 15, 17, 15.
Because we are breaking his order. He got our structure written into law.
He ruled us.
Yeah, he got it written in the law what he wants. So for us to come against what the law say, now we're dealing with something different. It might not work. Let me just say that.
Is that when we got Saul?
That's when we got Saul.
Corrupted.
He said, "I gave you a king in my anger," because he was pissed.
But wasn't Saul, they said, a good man, though?
Yeah, we'll read it next. Let me read this real quick. Let's read the law on a king or voting. How we supposed to vote? Go ahead.
So Deuteronomy chapter 17, verse 15.
14.
14.
Mm-hmm.
When thou art come unto the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee, and shall possess it,
Mm-hmm.
and shall dwell therein, and shall say, I will set a king over me.
So when we feel like we want to set somebody over us, when we feel like we're in some kind of comfortable position where we can vote for somebody, what we gonna do? Read.
Like as all the nations that are about me,
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, 15.
thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee, whom the Lord thy God shall.
So anybody you want to set in rulership over you has to be somebody that the Most High is choosing. So we're supposed to go to the Most High about who we elect to put in a position of power over us. Go ahead.
One from among thy brethren.
He can only be from amongst who?
Thy brethren.
It has to be an Israelite. Go ahead.
Shalt thou set king over thee.
Mm-hmm.
Thou mayest not set a stranger over
You
thee,
are not allowed to set a heathen Gentile over thee. Read.
which is not thy brother.
Which is not our brother. That's what the Bible said. That's the law. It's a sin for us to go to the polls and vote for the so-called white man, African, or whoever else that's not our people. But the white man wants us to think different because he wants us to stay destroyed. He wants us to vote for him. He wants us to all be one people, just like Nebuchadnezzar, make all the people one, just like the dang Egyptian,
That was, what's his name? And
Maccabees,
Maccabees.
Alexander, Antiochus.
Antiochus.
He wanted us to be. He wanted everybody to be one people. That's against what God wants. He wants us to be divided.
Even wicked Esau, I mean, to be an American president, you gotta be from America.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, they got it from us because it says that if we elect somebody, it's gotta be an Israelite.
Mm-hmm. But they ain't our brethren. No matter what they say. Last verse, and we're going back to the law because we got to finish this out quick. We're running short on time. What time is it?
It's,
Oh, yeah, we got another hour, right? You said 4:30? 2 Samuel. Let's go there real quick. 2 Samuel 8.
I'm talking about Saul, right?
Yeah, because you brought out that example about the king, right?
Where he was asking, Zai was asking whether Saul was a good leader or not.
Tazadakia. He can act, yeah.
All right, we're gonna have some fun with that for a while.
You better not come up talking about you the comforter, brother.
I'm saying, if somebody asks you to go get a blanket, don't say I'm getting a comfort. Just don't do it. All right.
2 Samuel, what I say, 7?
You said 8, I think.
Let me get 7. I think that's it. No, it's likely 1 Samuel. I said 2nd.
First
It's 1 Samuel. 2 Samuel is the later part of history.
1 Samuel 7.
It's 1 Samuel, I believe it's 7. And where's Locklear? It's 8. Started 8 and 1. Because Samuel, our system of government was based on the law in Genesis.
Judges.
Yeah, it's based on Genesis 18 or 16, 18. Deuteronomy, Salakia, Deuteronomy 16, 18. This is the law. The Lord told us how to regulate our government. Let me get it real quick before we go there. 16, 18. I'm going to read it. Y'all ain't got to go there. I just want you to hear the law. He says, Judges, this is Deuteronomy 16, 18. Judges and officers shalt thou make thee in all thy gates, which mean all our forms of government. Our local government is going to be ran by judges and officers. He says, which the Lord thy God giveth thee throughout thy tribes, and they shall judge the people with just judgment. So they're basically like chiefs, like the way the Native Americans roll. That's how we roll. We had chiefs in all of our gates. But the Native Americans, they had, war chiefs, and that's what we had too, war chiefs like Samson. He fought Gideon. He was a chief. He was a judge, which is a chief, but he was a warrior. He fought. Because we break that word judge down as shapat. Remember what judgment was, right? Mashapat is judgment. So judge is shapat. And a judge, he rose them up. They fought for us. They defended us. Samuel, from the time of Joshua, he was a judge. Moses was the first judge. From Moses all the way to Samuel, we had judges ruling, and they would go to the Most High and see how to resolve the matters, or whether we should go to war, or what to do. So now, the last judge over Israel, Samuel, right? Let's see what it says. Read.
1 Samuel chapter 8 from the top.
Uh-huh.
And it came to pass when Samuel was old.
So now he done got old. He was a judge, a young warrior judge that wouldn't mind using violence to cut a daggone king's head off. Read.
That he made his sons judges over Israel.
So he appointed his sons to be judges over the whole nation of Israel. That's who ruled. But what happened? Read.
Now the name of his firstborn was Joel.
Joel means Yahweh Allah, which means Yahweh and God. That's what Joel means, Yahweh Allah. Read.
And the name of his second, Abiah.
Uh-huh.
They were judges in Beersheba.
Go ahead.
And his sons
Uh-huh.
walked not in his way,
So they wouldn't like him. Read.
but turned aside after
Lucre. Lucre is money. They wanted that filthy lucre. Read.
and took bribes
They took bribes. Read.
and perverted judgment.
And the law says, when you read Leviticus, the 19th chapter, he says that, we supposed to have just judgment. We don't corrupt judgment for the young, old. Don't matter who you are. We're going to go by what the law say. But go ahead.
Then all the elders of Israel gathered themselves together.
So the position of an elder in Israel was like sort of like what we got today. There was brothers that families would come to. They like local, like they were like congressmen You know, the congressman, you can go talk to your congressman. You know, he's supposed to sit there and talk to you like, what's the problem? What are we dealing with? How can I help you? Like, we should be able to just go to his office, and then he would go to Washington, and he's supposed to represent us in front of the House, and then they supposed to be able to go to the president, which was Samson would be the president. The elders would be the Congress working on the local level, and then they, you know, would go to the judges up in Washington. But go ahead.
And came to Samuel
So they went to Samuel. Go ahead.
unto Ramah, and said unto him, Behold, thou art old, and thy sons walk not in thy ways.
Go ahead.
Now make us a king to judge
Us.
like all the nations.
So we want to be like the other nations. We don't want to deal with judges. We don't want to deal with what the Most High say. We don't want to go by the law no more. We want to be like the heathen. We want to have kings like them. But what the Most High say, read.
But the thing displeased Samuel.
Yep. But the thing displeased this made him mad because he wants to stick to the law. So it angered him that they even coming like that. Read.
When they said, Give us a king to judge us.
What did Samuel do?
And Samuel prayed unto the Lord.
So this is what kings and leaders and rulers are supposed to do. Like what we just read, submit to Yahweh and see what his counsel is, what he wants. But that's not what George Bush does. But go ahead.
And the Lord said unto Samuel, Hearken unto the voice of the people and all that they say unto thee, for they have not rejected thee.
When we take on a government and we vote and we do all this insanity, we're not rejecting Samuel. You ain't rejecting I because I'll tell you not to do it. But who are you rejecting? Read.
But they have rejected me.
They rejecting the Most High God, Yahweh. I don't care how good the person is you voting for. It's about what Yahweh's plan is, what he wants. So we ain't rejecting. When we say, well, we want to do our government this way, we want to do it that way, the hell with what the law say. We're not rejecting, me or Micah Allah. We're rejecting what the Most High say. But go ahead.
That I should not reign over them.
They don't want the Most High to reign over them because at the end of the day, Samuel didn't consider himself an exalted person. He was like, yo, we're going to roll with God say every time. He goes to, when he selected Daniel to be the king, or not Daniel, David to be the king, he was like, Jesse was like, yo, this is my oldest son. Look how strong and how he is and this, and the next guy, and this is my other son. He didn't even consider David. Wasn't even on his radar. Samuel looked at him and said, oh, no, not him. He's not it. He's not it. He's not it. He said, well, you just went through all my sons. He said, nah, it got to be another son somewhere. There got to be another one. And then how did he reject him? Based on what the Lord said, not based on what he felt. He went according to what the Lord said, and the Lord said, not him, not him. And then he said, well, I got another son, man, David, but he's just a goat herder, man. He ain't, but
He ain't no warrior.
yeah, he had no idea that the Most High was with him. We can't go by appearance. We got to go by what the Spirit say and flow with that, and we'll have victory. If not, we're going to go off. So we ain't rejecting him, but we rejecting the Most High. That's what we're rejecting. So Saul was the one that anointed David and made him the king. It had nothing to do with how, or not David, but Saul. Shalakli. Samuel anointed Saul and made him the king. And then Samuel told Saul, once he disobeyed the Most High by not killing every single last Jewish rat bastard, he said, get rid of women, children, animals. I don't want a stitch or a trace left. He said, oh, we're going to keep this, we're going to keep that, we're going to keep the women, keep the king. He's going to be my slave. He's going to serve me. And we're gonna take all their goats and their sheep and sacrifice to the Most High. The Most High gonna be happy. Most High like, I don't give a damn about no goat. I could snap my fingers and goats can appear. I don't care about the goat. Obedience is better than sacrifice. And that's what we want to stay focused on, obeying the Most High. You see that? So we reject the Most High. Saul could have been a good man, but it's not what the Most High wanted.
And remember, his ways aren't his ways anyway.
Right.
He was destined to fail.
He was destined to fail. He failed. No matter how hard he tried to fight and pursue David, he woke up and David standing above him. Can you imagine you got a whole army and you pursuing a little small handful of people, and you corner him and you think you got him, and you wake up and he's standing over you? That's the Godfather. You ever seen the Godfather? Nobody ever seen the Godfather? Oh man, there's a Hollywood producer. You seen it?
I know what you're
Piece of
talking about.
pieces.
But I ain't-
Well, there's a Hollywood producer, man. The Godfather was a mob boss, but he was a very intelligent dude. And he like, yo, I want you to make this guy put him in your movie. He said, hell no, the hell with you. Who is you? Get out of my face. He's all right, cool. He walked away. He didn't get mad and irate or nothing. He had a horse that he loved. He paid millions for it, whatever.
Put it in there.
He woke up and the damn horse head was in his bed.
Oh, I seen that. Yeah, okay, I seen that. Yeah.
So for you to see something like that, that would shake me up. I'm not gonna lie. I'm thinking I'm fortified. Ain't nobody getting through this military to get up in here. And he wake up and the man is standing above him. He's like, I could kill you, man, right now. That shows you how your army and all your protection and all your military, you got a bunker under the ground, you can go up to Mars, you can go anywhere you want, and you still gonna get death if the Most High wants you to get death.
Yeah, look at
That
the
was
woman.
David, right?
Yeah, David.
Look at the woman that got sucked out the window in the damn plane. Got sucked halfway out the window and died.
When was this?
This was a couple months ago.
Wow, I ain't hear nothing about that.
Yeah, the piece of engine exploded and hit the window, made a little crack, then blew out the window. She got sucked out and died.
Damn.
I mean, you know, she was wanted.
Yeah,
She was on the hit list.
yeah. And then y'all see that thing in where was that at? New York, where that lady was on the train calling the Chinese girl a chink.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Oh man, she was going off. She was hitting her with an umbrella and everything. You know, you just to show you how racist these people are, man. So the Most High is judging
I
them.
was on last night.
It was on last night on CNN or something. Wow, it blew up. I seen it on the daggone internet, YouTube, Facebook. She calling them chinks, kicking her and everything.
Yeah.
See,
So
they-
she got arrested too.
And got arrested at the next stop or later on the road. She was on a D train
And they
in New
tried to
York.
call the police and give them a fictitious story.
They always do that, man. They always lie to the police.
They want to cry.
But they got to realize, though, Esau, you liar, you've been exposed because there's social media and there's cameras every damn where. And a Negro won't hesitate to break out his camera to make a viral video of you. So keep on doing what you do. Oh, he think he's God, man. So-called white man, but he going down. There's another video I posted on Facebook where this dude got knocked out by Issachar. I posted it on the internet. And he was filming it, and
I shared that video.
you shared it.
Yeah, the brother that was
Wasn't that funny?
Yeah, that was funny.
He slept. Issachar knocked Esau out cold to where he pissed and shitted on himself. And then another one tried to run up on the dude that was recording,
Yeah.
and he got knocked out.
Man, it's crazy because you notice he had the phone in his hand and a cigarette.
And he knocked him
And he
out.
knocked him out with it. He said, "Don't run up over these fools trying to jump me."
They tried to jump, and all he was doing was recording it. So there's cameras everywhere, man. And Esau, you are a weak little pitiful creature, man. The Most High was powering this dude. That's why I wanted. That's why I brought that out to say. But let's go back to the law and finish him up, man. We only got one more chapter, I believe.
Now we got to go to 47,
Oh, what chapter we on?
45, 45.
Oh, 2 chapters. That's why I don't like dropping my spot. Oh, wow. Opening right to it.
45 and 8.
Oh, man, we do got a lot to go. All right, go ahead, brother.
This is Genesis 45 and 8.
All that off of this, we pulled all the information out of these little bit of verses.
Kind
You see how the Most High work, man? His law, man, it's like a rabbit hole that never ends. You can go on and on and on dealing with his word. Go ahead, brother.
So now it was not you that sent me hither, but God.
Mm-hmm.
And he has made me a father to Pharaoh, and the Lord of all his house, and a ruler throughout all the land of Egypt.
Anybody know what the word Lord means? Lord means Baal. Baal in ancient Hebrew. Baal means master. Or it's synonymous with husband too. It can mean husband. So when you marry a woman, she is he said I'm Lord over Pharaoh's house. that means everything that goes on in Pharaoh's house, what's his name? Joseph was the ultimate authority. Whatever he said is what goes. When you marry a woman, married means ba'aud. See, the world has a mistwisted understanding on what married means. Married means you have been given to a man, and now he is your lord. Now, the man can have as many women under his lordship as he wants, but a woman can only have one head, one lord. So when a woman gets married, that means she's ba'aud. So he's the lord. Anything that goes on in his house, he got say over it. He's the last word. If he say, woman, you can go buy that car, or you can go get that job, or you can do whatever, she can do it. If he say you can't do it, she can't do it.
That's why usually the woman will be like, ask your father.
Yeah,
You know, where he's
it always go back to the father.
Yeah.
It always go back to the father. That's the order. That's the way it should be. And it was like that even here in the United States up until Esau just got the super satanic devil on him to be as wicked as he can be and go against the Most High on every level. So now he set the woman over the man. And that's why the black house is so dysfunctional and so chaotic. And that's why don't nobody know their fathers or see their fathers, because ain't no man going to submit himself under the authority of a woman, because that's out of order. Now he can try, he can do it, but he's going to be miserable, and it's not going to work in the long run. I mean, I'm not saying it to be funny.
The household's going to fall apart.
Yeah, it's going to fall apart, and then what's going to happen is when you marry a woman, you should be with her the rest of your life. It should be forever, but it ain't, because the man just can't take it because a woman is an authority. Esau set her up over the man. That was a part of this destruction of the black race. Willie Lynch, he set the woman up in order to put things out of balance. He don't want the man, he wants the woman to raise women. He don't want her to raise a man, because we the ones that threatens him. The woman she's not a threat to him. The man is. Just like when we about to read in
Why do you think
Exodus.
It's like,
But go ahead,
why do you
brother.
think with the Section 8, right? A woman can't have a man in the house.
There you go. There you go.
All right, it's to destroy our family culture, all right, and whatnot. But at the same time, they have similar programs to Section 8 for Esau, right, and farming and all that, where they teach them how to farm, give them money and all that. They don't tell them they can't have a man in the house.
Right. Right. And he said he'd do that. He wanted to divide us up, because he know that's going to divide us. He wants us to have hatred towards our woman. He wants the man to be removed, so the son can't learn how to be a man. So he's being raised up by a woman. More likely than not, she can't teach him how to be a man. So a lot of men grow up and be faggots. He's drilling that in us through the television, through the food, through the estrogen in the food, SpongeBob SquarePants, everything at school. Everything is to destroy a black man. We don't understand. That's why I say we in war, and we under attack and genocide. And as long as you with a white woman or you a faggot, you cool to him. That's why immediately who Michael Jordan dating, who he married to now, Edomite. Forget about the black woman. So when he dies, she inherits everything, and the wealth stays within the white race. See that? Instead of going to the black race, a nigga can't get nothing for an inheritance. We got to start from zero over and over and over again. Meanwhile, Esau is inheriting over and over again. He keeps his lineage strong while we are in prison, because we didn't learn how to be a man by a man. He didn't teach us what was right and what was wrong. Instead, we get raised by the system.
And you see it too. That's what caused a lot of Jakes to get in trouble when they get pulled over by the police, because they've been raised by women. Right? They want to argue the point.
Now they want to be
All
emotional.
Right? They want to be emotional. They want to argue a point. Okay. Whereas a man teach you, hey, sometimes you just gonna take a L. Okay, ain't nothing I can do about this. Arguing ain't gonna change the damn cop's mind.
No.
A man will teach you that having a man in the house will teach you. If you had a father in the house, you know there ain't nothing you can do to change his mind once his mind is set. Okay, it's when you learn from a woman that just like you look at these young Jakes today. They act like women. They want to argue with you and think they can get you to change your mind, the same way a woman does. Okay? A woman is not in the truth. Let me get that out there. Sisters, don't get mad. Okay? a woman that's not in order, or
Right.
try to argue with you, get you to change your mind, get you to do what she wants. Okay, that's what the men that they raise do the thing. Try to get you to change, try to get you to change and go along with them. And a child that was raised by an extra man, you know, hey, this one.
And he's gonna watch over his daughters. You ain't gonna have women on damn YouTube or whatever the hell social media shaking, twerking, while the damn little boy sitting there watching nigga at the nigga coming in and out his house.
Hell no.
You gonna let that ride hot? You gonna have somebody twerking upstairs? Hell no, man.
Hell no.
So
I'll tell you, man, if I go up to the school and pop up and surprise on my kids, which I like to do, if I see my daughter twerking, she gonna be laid out right there in that hall.
and that's why we need a man in the house. Case in point.
I'ma slap her ass right to the ground, Salakia for my language, but right there, the belt coming off, and I don't care if it's school. When you show out, you get laid out.
Exactly, and this is why we need men.
See, you remember that old saying? Okay, white kids embarrass their parents, black parents embarrass their kids. Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't act a fool. Act a fool. I'm gonna show you what a real fool is.
I'm not gonna lie to you. The man is supposed to be over his daughter, and he's supposed to be over his sons. And a woman, she's supposed to bring that nurturing spirit, that loving spirit, and let that man be that authority. That's why when I walk in the house, my sons soldier up, man. But when their mom is there, they like, shh.
What was the worst thing? The worst thing that could be said to me when I was young is, "I'm gonna tell your daddy."
Yeah,
You
me
tell
too.
my mama.
Yeah.
You can tell my mama all day long. All right, I ain't give a damn. You can tell mama. I'm telling your teacher. I'm telling your mama. You know, I'm telling you. No, hold on a minute. we can work this out, can't we?
It was like that for my dad and granddad when I was coming up, boy. Especially my granddad. This dude, man, he was mean.
True though.
Oh man, we knew, man. This dude had weapons. He had medieval weapons, man. The big old mace with the spikes on it. You know that ball with the chain you swing around. Don't make me hit you with this. I'm like, shh.
Like,
And go ahead.
it's like I said, like remember what Richard Pryor said about his daddy. He said he'd rather have his mother punish him. He said his daddy may say something like, "Nigga, go stand in the street while I start the car."
Yeah, man.
Nah,
And-
you don't want to deal with your daddy. That keep you in order.
Yeah, and my aunts and uncles, they still in order, man. They still scared of that man. He in the grave. They're like, oh yeah, I remember when Dad said this. Dad said that. That dude was so mean, man.
Great right now.
And when he spoke, you know, what's his name? James Earl Roy, the dude with the big deep voice from Coming to America.
Yeah, James Earl Jones.
My grandfather spoke like that, man. I swear, one time, he was old school. You know what I'm saying? He was back in the 30s and stuff, 20s. And he's talking about, you know, because, you know, I'm like, I can't grandpa, man. You know, I caught the bus up here. I ain't got no clothes. I only got 2 days worth of clothes. He said, you going to school, boy? I'm like, okay, I went the first day. And then he wanted me to wear the same outfit the rest of the week. I said, I'm not going, man. I'm not going. This dude hollered so damn loud, man. I thought it was an earthquake. The house was rumbling and shaking. I almost gave up the ghost, man. I was like, damn. He said, get your ass out of there. You better get in school. Nigga only had 2 outfits for the whole year. Grandpa, I can't go to school burlap, man. These kids will run me off the block, man. I wouldn't see the end of ass kickings and cracks and jokes and all that. But yeah, man, we feared the man, man. We feared the man, and I didn't want to bring a bad report. And then he was real big and diesel, man. Like when I was little, he was looking like Debo. Back then, when I was a kid, Debo was a wrestler. He was they called him Zeus.
Zeus, yeah.
And that dude, man, he was scary looking. His arms had to be about this big. It wasn't like the movies. And Friday, later on, in his early days in the 80s, his arms was like this, man. And that's how my grandfather's was.
He was bigger than Hulk Hogan.
And Hulk Hogan was a damn mountain, man. He's about 6'5".
He had 24-inch python.
Yeah.
Remember? He was bigger than that. Zeus was bigger than that.
Yeah.
Debo was bigger than that.
And Hulk, he weighed like 300, almost 400 pounds back then. Solid muscle, man. When they was lifting people up, he could really do that. You ain't have to jump, he just body slam you. So that's what my grandfather was, and I was like, yo, I ain't trying to mess with that dude. And even when he was old, he was in his 60s, man. My brother was real big and strong. He tried to wrestle dude, and he broke him down, and he in his 60s. And my brother in his 20s. But where we at, brothers? Where we at?
We gotta get back in the law.
Yeah, we gotta end it. We gotta end it. Close him out.
Genesis 45, verse 9.
No more precepts. We're gonna flow.
Haste ye, and go up to my father, and say unto him, Thus say thy son Joseph, God has made me Lord of all Egypt. Come down unto me, tarry not.
Read.
And thou shalt dwell in the land of Goshen.
Goshen. Remember this. X this in your mind. This is the town that the Israelites was living in when we lived in Egypt. Read.
And thou shalt be near unto me, thou and thy children, and thy children's children, and thy flocks, and thy herds, and all that thou hast.
Everything you have, you're gonna be in Goshen. You're gonna be near to me. You're gonna be living like royalty. So Israel did not live like slaves for 400 years straight in Egypt. They was living
We did
good.
not go into Egypt as slaves. We were not conquered. Okay? It's something that came about later on. Read.
Go ahead.
And there will I nourish thee.
I'm gonna nourish you, not enslave you. Nourish you. Read.
For yet there are 5 years of famine, lest thou and thy household and all that thou hast come to poverty.
To poverty. So we was living good under Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, but the Most High sent that famine through. That's like a depression that just going on and on and on. No land, no food being produced, no work, no nothing. It's just dried up. You ain't got nothing popping. I don't care how rich you are. If a famine hit, it can hit anytime. It can hit here in the U.S. anywhere. We've seen it in Venezuela. It could take you down to nothing. So you know the spirit of the Most High is blessing America and making them prosperous to be able to do what they're doing because it's the will of the Father. Go ahead.
And behold, your eyes see, and the eyes of my brother Benjamin,
How you say Benjamin?
Benyamin.
Banyam. Go ahead.
that it is my mouth that speaketh unto you. And ye shall tell my father of all my glory in Egypt, and of all that ye have seen. And ye shall haste and bring down my father hither.
So bring my father down. Can imagine the extreme joy to hear that not only is your son not dead, but he's alive and he's ruling the world. It's the worst news you could ever hear, that your son is dead, period. One of your kids is dead. You can't hear nothing worse than that. But to hear not only that is he not dead, he's ruling the world, man. I'll be floating on the cloud, man. You couldn't tell me nothing. But go ahead.
Verse 14. And he fell upon his brother Benjamin's neck and wept. And Benjamin wept upon his neck. Moreover, he kissed all his brethren and wept upon them. And after that, his brethren talked with him. And the fame thereof was heard in Pharaoh's house, saying, Joseph's brethren are come.
And what did it do? What's the mindset of the Pharaoh? Read.
And it pleased Pharaoh well,
And who?
and his servants.
So that's the mindset when you read in Exodus. That's when it says the Pharaoh knew not Joseph. It's not known. It means he didn't have any respect for him when you break that word down in the Hebrew, because he knew who he was. I mean, there's only one.
It was a different Pharaoh.
It was a different Pharaoh. It was Ramses II, but he knew who Joseph was because the 12 tribes has just died off. It wasn't that long. It was only 3 generations removed from Joseph. So Joseph's son, his grandson, and his great-grandson. And then you got the new Pharaoh.
It said he bounced his grandsons on his knee. It tells you that here in the Bible.
So they knew who he was. He didn't. This Pharaoh was like, yeah, we good with Joseph. The other Pharaoh said, the hell with Joseph. The hell with these Israelites. enslaved them Negroes. But go ahead.
Verse 17. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph,
And you can prove that in First Chronicles, the 6th chapter. It tells you that it was only, it was Levi, then his son, then Moses and Aaron. But go ahead.
and Pharaoh said unto Joseph, say unto thy brethren, this do ye, lay your beasts and go, get you into the land of Canaan, and take your father and your household, and come unto me, and I will give you the good of the land of Egypt, and ye shall eat the fat of the land.
So we were blessed when we was in Egypt. Go ahead.
Now thou art commanded, this do ye, take you wagons out of the land of Egypt for your little ones and for your wives, and bring your father and come. Also regard not your stuff, for the good of all the land of Egypt is yours.
He said, just get here, all y'all. Forsake everything you got, because I'm going to look out. Go ahead.
And the children of Israel did so.
Wouldn't it be nice if we can just do that? If we can just say, everybody in Israel, just drop what you got going on, come back to Israel, y'all blessed, y'all live here safely. You know that ain't gonna happen,
The
but
thing to hear, just like the thing here to remember is this is what the Pharaoh's telling them to do. Okay, so this is what the Pharaoh's telling them. I'm gonna give you the good of Egypt. Like I said, we went into Egypt when we went in as honored guests. Okay, we did not go in bondage. All right, read.
Verse 21, and the children of Israel did so.
so they did what he said to do.
And Joseph gave them wagons according to the commandment of Pharaoh,
Just like the brother just said.
and gave them a provision for the way.
So gave them what they need in order to get there and get back.
To all,
You think Jacob argued? Go ahead.
to all of them, he gave each man changes of raiment.
Mm-hmm.
But to Benjamin, he gave 300 pieces of silver and 5 changes of raiment.
So he really looked out for him. That's his first brother on his, but they all brothers, but you know, mom and dad common. And what did anybody know what Jacob means in the ancient Hebrew? It's Ya'iquab. That's how you say it. Ya'iquab. But go ahead.
And to his father, he sent after this manner 10 asses laden with the good things of Egypt, and 10 she-asses laden with corn and bread and meat for his father by the way. So he sent his brethren away, and they departed.
So he sent him back with lots of gifts, lots of food, lots of corn. You know, when they laid it, it's like you got a sack, you put across the top of the donkey, you put the 2 things on the side, and he carries it. So, you know, he was sending gifts. Go ahead.
And he said unto them, see that ye fall not out by the way. And they went up out of Egypt and came into the land of Canaan unto Jacob their father, and told him, saying, Joseph is yet alive, and he is governor over all the land of Egypt. And Jacob's heart fainted, for he believed them not.
He didn't even believe it. He couldn't believe it. His heart fainted.
Y'all better stop playing with me.
Let's see real quick.
Let me finish that.
Read. Finish it.
Verse 27, and they told him all the words of Joseph, which he had said unto them. And when he saw the wagons which Joseph had sent to carry him, the spirit of Jacob their father revived.
His spirit revived. He's sad, lowly, ready to die, and the spirit came back in him.
Verse 28, and Israel said, it is enough. Joseph my son is yet alive. I will go and see him before I die.
He got it. Hallelujah.
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 Kalashara,
Kalashara.
Yabar Yahweh,
Yabar Yahweh.
Nah Shah,
Nah Shah.
Wanah Shemai.
Nah Shema.
All Yahweh said,
All Yahweh said.
what we doing here.
What we doing here? So he was like, you know, he was down. You know, when he heard that Joseph was still alive, and was the governor of Egypt, right? Second in command, it revitalized him. It gave him, the spirit flew. You could imagine, he wasn't so old all of a sudden. He got that lively back. I'm going to see my son.
Yeah. The spirit will come back in me too.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. But at first, it'd be like, man, y'all better stop playing with me.
Yeah.
How he gonna be alive and you didn't brought me his coat that I made for him and it's all torn up and bloody. Y'all better stop playing. I don't like talking about this subject.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, pops, for real, it's him.
Yeah, he's a king of Egypt, right? He's the
Governor.
governor of Egypt. He rules. He has dominion. He has reign over Egypt right now. That's amazing. That's an amazing story, amazing history, and you got any commentary on that, brother?
Let me see. No, I'll get this next chapter before you have it back.
Come on, you No, we commentary. Go ahead. We commentated a lot on that, going through it. So, you guys sucked in a lot on that. And make sure you go back to the YouTube video too. We document it. All right, who's the next brother? Oh, you got it.
Tazadakia,
Bon, your father's name.
Bon Richard,
Bon,
Bon Billy,
your government or your nation, your tribe.
Judah,
Bon Judah.
Bon Judah,
Bon, your nation.
Bon Israel,
Bon Yasharala. Okay, Amanium. That's attention. Barak. Yabaraka Yahweh. No. Yahweh Bashem Yahshai Brakatah.
Yahweh Hashem Yahshua Barakatah.
There you say.
Yahweh Hashem Yahweh.
Okay. All right, starting at 46. Don't look too long.
Genesis 46
Mm-hmm.
at the top. And Israel took his journey with all that he had, and came to Beersheba, and offered sacrifices unto God of his father Isaac.
Mm-hmm.
And God spake unto Israel in the vision of the night, and said, Jacob, Jacob. And he said, Here I am. And he said, I am God, the God of thy father. Fear not to go down into Egypt.
So the Most High is counseling him to go ahead and go, even though he's in Canaan. Remember, the Most High wanted him to stay in Canaan at first. His father was telling him, when his Isaac was telling, or Salakia, Abraham was telling Isaac, or telling his servant he wanted Isaac to stay in Canaan. And then, as we know, Jacob went off to get his, or Salakia, Jacob went off to get his wife, and he came back to Canaan. So Canaan was our land, our homeland, and this is where we dwelled during that time. Even though we didn't, we didn't have rulership and dominion over the land, it was still our land. So it was spiritual. They stayed in the land. But now we see the Most High telling Isaac or Jacob to go ahead and make that journey and go down into Egypt. Go ahead.
For I will there make of thee a great nation. I will go down with thee into Egypt, and I will also surely bring thee up again. And Joseph shall put his hand upon thine eyes. And Jacob rose up from Beersheba, and the sons of Israel carried Jacob their father, and their little ones, and their wives, and the wagons which Pharaoh had sent to carry him. And they took their cattle and their goods, which they had gotten in the land of Canaan, and came into Egypt, Jacob and all his seed with him, his sons and his sons' sons with him, his daughters and his sons' daughters, and all his seed brought he with him into Egypt. And these are the names of the children of Israel, which came into Egypt: Jacob and his sons, Reuben, Jacob's firstborn. And the sons of Reuben, Hanak, and Palu, and Hezron, and Carmi. And the sons of Simeon, Jemuel, and Jermin, and Ohad, and Jashin, and Zorah, and Sael, the son of Canaanitish woman, and the sons of Levi, Gershon, Kahath, and Merari.
Hold on. 1 second. Hold that thought. So he took, who was the sons of Levi again?
And the sons of Levi, Gershon, Kahath, and Merari.
All right, hold that and get First Chronicles 6 and 1 real quick.
Right to it.
All right, bring it out.
First Chronicles 6 and 1.
Mm-hmm.
The sons of Levi, Gershon, Kahath, and Merari.
Okay, so just what he just named, that's who he took down into Egypt. So you had Levi, who was not, I'm assuming he was of age because he had children. And then he had his children. And then who his children have? Verse 2.
And the sons of Kohath,
Mm-hmm.
Amram, Izhar, and Hebron, and Uzzieli.
Okay, Uziel. And then you have, in verse 2, you have Amram. In verse 1, you have Levi. You have Kothath. And now in verse 2, you have Aram. So that's 3 generations. Who are the sons of Aram? Verse 3.
Khan, and the children of Amram, Aaron,
Mm-hmm.
and Moses.
Okay, does that equal 400 years? Not at all.
Not at all.
No, so we wasn't chilling in Egypt for 400 years. The daggone kids was alive. Kothath and Merari were alive going down into Egypt.
Khan.
So that don't equal 400 years of bondage. So the white Jews can't connect themselves in that history. Saying, no, the 400 years was fulfilled already. That was talking about when we went into Egypt. No, y'all went into Egypt. No, 400 years, that's out. But go ahead.
Back in the precept or Genesis?
No, Genesis.
Khan.
Genesis 46, verse 12. And the sons of Judah, and Onan, and Shelah, and Perez, and Zara. But and Onan died in the land of Canaan. And the sons of Perez were Hezron and Hamuel.
I tell you what, in order for the sake of time to skip all this genealogy and get straight to verse 26.
Genesis 46, verse 26. All the souls that came with Jacob into Egypt,
Mm-hmm.
which came out of his loins,
Mm-hmm.
besides Jacob's sons' wives, all the souls were 66.
What's a score?
36.
No,
Or 10 years.
a score is 20.
So
So-
that's 66.
66 people that came out of Jacob not included his wives and all that, and their wives, just the souls that came out of him was 66.
Dang. Yeah.
So we had 70 souls when you put the wives on there that went down into Egypt. And then we came out as a whole nation. We multiplied in that little bit of time that y'all just seen between the children. We became a multitude. You see that? But go ahead, brother.
Verse 27. And the sons of Joseph, which were born him in Egypt, were 2 souls. All the souls of the house of Jacob, which came into Egypt, were 70.
Mm-hmm.
And he sent Judah before
3 score
him.
10 is how much?
60,
70. That's it. So 70 souls went down into Egypt. But go ahead.
Verse 28. And he sent Judah before him unto Joseph, to direct his face unto Goshen. And they came into the land of Goshen. And Joseph made ready his chariot, and went up to meet Israel his father, to Goshen, and presented himself unto him. And he fell on his neck, and wept on his neck a good while. And Israel said unto Joseph, Now let me die.
Now he's ready to die. He felt like, I done accomplished it all. I done seen my son. Now I'm ready to go. Go ahead.
Since I have seen thy face, because thou art yet alive. And Joseph said unto his brethren, and into his father's house, I will go up and shew Pharaoh, and say unto him, My brethren, and my father's house, which were in the land of Canaan, are coming to me. And the men are shepherds, for their trade have been to feed cattle, and they have brought their flocks and their herds and all they have. And it shall come to pass, when Pharaoh shall call you, and shall say, What is your occupation? That ye shall say, Thy servant's trade hath been about cattle from our youth, even until now. Both we,
What verse you went out?
34,
Okay, go ahead.
both we, and also our fathers, that ye may dwell in the land of Goshen, for every shepherd is an abomination unto the Egyptians.
Why would it be an abomination about the shepherds for the Egyptian? Anybody know?
Well, the Egyptians didn't even sit at the table with the Israelites when
So like the Egyptians, they never got along with the Israelites. They didn't really.
Yeah, what you saying is closer than what they saying, because what y'all saying is later. I'm talking about at this point right here. Why would it be an abomination, a disgusting, detestable thing for them to sit at a table, or for them being sheep herders or shepherds? You was right. They hated them, but why? Why they hate shepherds? Because it was ruled over by a group of people called the Hyksos, which were Shemites, which were of our lineage that we just read, our people, and ruled Egypt and ruled over the Egyptians. And they were called the Hyksos, and they were shepherd kings. They were shepherds, but they was kings over them. So that's why it was an abomination for them to have them sitting over them. They didn't like the idea of that.
I heard about the Hexos like 2 days ago. That's crazy.
Yep.
Hallelujah.
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 Kalashara, the Bar Yahweh,
The
Nasha, Nashamai. All Yahweh said. What we doing here? Okay, what verse do we stop on the next one?
We got 47.
27. Okay. Well, that's almost the whole chapter. But anyway, yeah, this was a great story. We went deep into it already. You got any commentary on it, brother?
Just to have like
the overall concept, basically, Joseph had his family come down, and Pharaoh granted them the option to live there and give them the good of the land. And they brought everything with them, their sheep and their cattle and everything. And Joseph was happy to see his father and his family, and he cried. And now, I guess he's about to go more into depth of what's about to happen next.
Gone. All right. Anybody else?
Only about 70 people went into Egypt.
Con.
That's
Good point.
it. Kind of showed it wasn't that many people living at the time after the flood.
This young in development.
You have to remember,
When he came back to see his brother Esau, and Esau was with like 400 dudes.
That was Bethmore.
Yeah, that was back.
yeah.
So you know, it was a lot of people. That wasn't even Esau's family. That was just 400 dudes. Each 400 of them dudes had a family too.
Yeah, what it is remember what the Most High said. I didn't choose you because you were the greatest in number, all right? But you were the smallest in number, all right?
Yeah, that's Deuteronomy 7.
All right.
Right.
So he didn't choose us because we were great in numbers at that time. He chose us because we were the least in numbers at that time. Okay? But he made us as the sands of the sea. All right?
Yep, that was a promise when you read.
You know, hey, man,
Genesis
you
12.
know how Israel like to get down,
Oh, God bless.
you know?
Aina, Bon Wayne, Bon Bon Yahawada, Bon Yashala. Somebody,
Upon Jerusalem.
a Mayum named Barak. Yabrak, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Bragatham. Okay, Khan. Okay, Genesis 47:1. And then Joseph came and told Pharaoh and said, my father and my brethren and their flocks and their herds and all that they have are come out of the land of Canaan. And behold, they are in the land of Goshen. And he took some of his brethren, even 5 men, and presented them to Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said unto his brethren, what is your occupation? Immediately, he wanted to go into what their occupation was. And remember, he said, don't bring out nothing dealing with that, that shepherd thing. And Pharaoh said unto, okay. And they said unto Pharaoh, thy servants are shepherds, both we and our fathers also. They said in Morero, for he sojourned in, for the sojourn in the land, we are come, for thy servants have no pasture of their flocks, for the famine is sore in the land of Canaan. Now and therefore we pray thee, let thy servants dwell in the land of Goshen. Pharaoh spoke unto Joseph, saying, and Joseph is Yahweh, thy father and thy brethren are come unto thee, and the land of Egypt is before thee. In thy best land, in thy best land, make thy father and thy brethren to dwell. So we dwelled in the best, not the slum. In the land of Goshen, to let them dwell. And if thou knowest any of activity among them, make them rulers over my cattle. So we automatically got put in a high position. The best, just got a blessing. Most High set them up, prophecy fulfilled. And Joseph brought in Jacob his father and set him before Pharaoh. And Jacob blessed Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said unto Jacob, how old art thou? So we see Israel, the person, blessing a heathen. When we go back to the prophecy, he says, bless. When you read Genesis, the 27th chapter, 29th verse, he said, blessed are they that bless you, and cursed are they that curse you. So this man blessed Israel so he can expect to be blessed. So Jacob blessed him. We can't equate that to what's going on in the world today with the heathen, because all heathen on the planet has cursed Israel, enslaved Israel, robbed and spoiled and benefited off of our captivity. So what do you think they get? A cursing. And Joseph said in verse 9, and Jacob said unto Pharaoh, the days of the years of my pilgrimage are 130 years, and few evil have the days of the years of my life been. So he's been, living good, and have not attained unto the days of the years of my life, the life of my fathers in the days of their pilgrimage. So his fathers, he hasn't attained to their years. And Jacob blessed Pharaoh and went out from his before Pharaoh. And Joseph placed his father and his brethren and gave them possession in the land of Egypt, in the best of the land, and in the land of Ramses, as Pharaoh had commanded. And Joseph nourished his father and his brethren, and all his father's household with bread according to their families. And there was no bread in all the land, for the famine was very sore, so that the land of Egypt and all the land of Canaan fainted by reason of famine. So it was a good thing he got up out of there, because the famine came and it hit and wiped them out. And Joseph was gathered up, all the money that was found in the land of Egypt and the land of Canaan for the corn which they bought. And Joseph brought the money into Pharaoh's house. And when the money failed in the land of Egypt and the land of Canaan, all the Egyptians came to Joseph and said, "Give us bread, for why should we die in thy presence? For the money faileth." And Joseph said, "Give me your cattle, and I will give you money, give you for your salakia. Give your cattle, and I will give you for cattle if money fail." So Joseph had the plan, according to what the Most High gave him. And they brought their cattle unto Joseph, and Joseph gave them bread in exchange for horses, and for flocks, and for the cattle of the herds, and for the donkeys. And he fled, and he fed them with bread for all their cattle that year. And that year was ended, and they came to him the second year, and said unto him, "We will not hide it from my Lord. How is it that our money is spent? And my Lord also hath our herds of cattle. There is not aught left in the sight of my Lord, but our bodies and our lands. Wherefore shall we die before thine eyes? We both and our land, buy us and our land, buy us and our land for bread, and our land will be servants unto Pharaoh, and give us seed, that we will live and not die, that the land not be desolate." And Joseph bought all the land of Egypt for Pharaoh, for the Egyptians sold every man his field, because of the famine prevailed over them. So the land became Pharaoh's. You see that? This is like economics. You got Joseph mastering it at a high level. He buying low and selling high. Whatever they need, he's coming to them for. Like now, if we go into a recession, double recession is a repression or depression, the housing levels costs go low. That's when you buy all the houses. This is what Joseph's doing. That's all he's doing. He's buying it while it's low, and it goes up now. And guess what? Joseph is rich, or the Pharaoh's rich. He's coming up. Why? Because the Most High gave him that knowledge. The Most High gave it to him. He's buying low and selling high. He knew that they needed, that the famine was coming through. So he took all the corn and he basically worked his hand. That's all he did. Turn into bread. We need bread. We'll give you anything for bread. The land ain't producing nothing. Okay, give me all your land. Now he got all the land. Now he gonna own every damn thing. Because the land's gonna come back. It ain't gonna be a famine forever. The Most High told him exactly what it was gonna be. And he acted on it. Now they looking at Joseph like, man, you like the savior, man. You're a god, man. But he, like he do, give glory back to the Most High. Like he should. Where we at, verse 22?
21.
Or 21? As for the people, he removed them to cities from one end of the borders of Egypt even to the other thereof. So he justified. It says, only the land of the priests brought he not, for the priests had a portion assigned them of Pharaoh, and he did not eat their portion which Pharaoh gave them. Wherefore they sold not their lands. And Joseph said unto the people, behold, I have bought you this day and your land for Pharaoh. So he bought them and their land just so they can eat and survive. So he owns them. And then when you go through history, like Germany, we were being dispatched through the world from Baghdad in order to develop economies and set people up because they were living in a low state. This very thing, they didn't know what to do with what they had. So what we would do, and this is why Esau has a tight chain around our necks, because he know if he give us an inch, we're gonna take a mile, because he studied and read history. We would go to a land like Germany. We went to Germany. Germany was nothing. They didn't have nothing. It was just a bunch of dumb, ignorant white people. So we went in there. We said, okay, we'll develop this. So we developed everything. We created a thriving economy where everything was kicking, just like we were reading, and leave no position for them, the inhabitants of the land. So so what we did was we presented them with a bill, like, yo, you owe us for doing this. But they couldn't do nothing but be slaves to us. We wouldn't let them get the top positions in Germany. We wouldn't raise them up. So we would put them in bondage and captivity. So he saw that, he learned, he said, nah, we ain't gonna be doing this over and over and over. We ain't gonna do the same dance. Like Thor told Loki, we ain't gonna do this same dance, man. You ain't gonna keep getting me and getting me and getting me. So the white man got a tight chain around our neck. And what he did was he got with some other Edomites and plotted and went in there and rioted and destroyed everything and put us in bondage and captivity and took us out of our luxury houses that we were living in Germany, because we were few. We were just extremely smart. There was a lot, they was extremely stupid, and we would put them in bondage. So we had them picking cotton back in the daggone Middle Ages. They learned from that, man. They came back, they bounced back from it. And that's some history we're gonna have to go through. We're gonna have to dig inside some of those books and bring that out. Who was that, verse 20, what, 4?
Yeah, finish 23.
Okay, the second half?
Yeah.
Okay, so I have bought you this day and thy land for Pharaoh. We was doing that back then for us. Lo, here is seed for you, and you shall sow it in the land that I bought. You go out there and you work and you slave. So the Egyptians, this is a reason why they got an attitude, why they probably didn't have a problem with putting us in slavery when they had a champion for their cause, which is Ramses II, the Pharaoh that didn't respect Joseph. Probably because he made the people all around him slaves. And it came to pass in the increase that ye shall give the 5th part on the Pharaoh. So what's the 5th part? It's 20%, right? So you can work the land, you're gonna pay a 20% tax. And the 4 part, it says, and 4 parts shall be your own for seed of the field, and for your food, and for them of your households, and for food for your little ones. So that's dope. You go to work to eat, and the profits come to me. So that's organized slavery right there. So that's basically what the white man's doing to us now.
Sound familiar? That's what it says. Sound familiar?
So that's what we do. We work to survive. We don't work to increase. You don't see a whole lot of millionaires being produced for working for Ford, for working at the factory down the street. We're going to work just to survive, to eat. And really, with anything, as far as that goes, I can't think of nothing you can do to remove you from slavery. Like even big shots like big time lawyers and all that, they're just high paid slaves. Like LeBron James, he's a high paid rich slave. At the end of the day, I like to see where his wealth goes. I know it's not gonna go anywhere because this is all gonna collapse anyway, but we all really just toiling just to stay alive. We in a rat race. That's why we should be trying to strive for freedom, like to create like my brother Lloyd is saying in Ohio, create a bigger cage that we can roam around more in. Verse 25, and they said, thou hast saved our lives. Let us find grace in thy sight in the sight of my Lord, and we will be Pharaoh's servants. So that's a nice way to say we'll serve Pharaoh. And Joseph made it law, so he had the power to make law. That's dope. Over the land of Egypt unto this day that Pharaoh should have the fifth part. Why would it say unto this day? That's a good question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because he's writing it, but he said he's saying Joseph made a law and it stands even to this day. Why would it say that?
Because the example is
Because the idea was so brilliant that like nothing else could overtake it.
Well, it's
he
because
created taxes.
it's because
It worked.
as it's happening, it's not being written. This is written
Later.
years and years later.
Joseph didn't write this. It was
Right.
written
That's
later.
that's what I'm saying to say that it was written later. When you look in this book, this law, first 5 books, are supposed to be written. It was all about Moses. It's supposed to be written by Moses. If you think about it, like, didn't Moses write this?
No.
How could he write about his own death? Because he didn't write it.
Yeah, scholars that wrote it.
Well,
Scribes that wrote it.
the stuff that he wrote is not around anymore. His stuff, the Bible got rewritten by Ezra, by the prophet Ezra. And we're gonna get to that. I believe I can't remember where it's at. I think it's like the 14th chapter or 13th, one of them.
Things that he wrote
That
are
he-
still around, like the law. He wrote the law. They had the book of the law, but it didn't have all this other stuff in it.
Yeah, we don't have the original copy of what he wrote. You remember the temple that sat with the priest, and the temple was sacked.
I thought it was inside. I thought it was inside the Ark of the Covenant.
Right, the original.
Right. Well, there was only one Ark of the Covenant, and
Right.
what's the name? Hid it. Remember, the Most High told him to take it up, and the way was hidden from everybody. The Ark of the Covenant still exists.
Right. So
It's
what,
just hidden somewhere. Most High won't allow anybody to find it.
right. So what he originally written is not what's we reading.
No.
That's why they love to come with the Muslims like to come with that argument. Well, y'all don't have the real Old Testament. Y'all don't have the real Old Testament. Y'all don't have the real Old Testament. They try to find tricks and stuff. That's why I bring stuff like this out so y'all can see when they come with their trickery and their sorcery that no, we don't have the original. We have it based on this, and then you can trace back what we had. But they don't have the original either. They don't have the original. So what are they basing their thing on? You can't say, well, your thing is wrong, so my thing is right, but you can't prove to me how your thing is right.
And theirs came 500 years after the New Testament.
Yeah, so what we're dealing with, they had the Samaritan Pentateuch. We're gonna go into that in a different class. We're just gonna go into all that in a different class and just flow with this. Which is basically, this ain't the original. It was rewritten. Where we at?
26.
26, and where do we stop? 27?
And
Yep.
should give Pharaoh we stop at 26. Should give Pharaoh the fifth part, except that's where you're at. Except for the priests, which became not Pharaoh's. That's the end of that. That closes it out.
Yeah, the rest of 26.
The rest of 26 is where you left off. There's only 2
Where it
lines.
says, except the land of the priests. Priests is only which became not Pharaoh's. And then it goes on to 27.
So all of his wicked sorcerer priests,
Right.
demon, Pharaoh didn't tax them.
Okay, the last verse, 27. And Israel dwelt in the land of Egypt, in the country of Goshen, and they had possessions therein, and grew and multiplied exceedingly. All right, so that's that on that. We close out with prayer and
By how?
um
Oh, yeah, how was it?